Should be good enough now. Oop. How have you not noticed? I can't believe you. Fade that out. Here we go. I'm not used to that. Turnabout Airlines beginning. So, welcome to Ace Attorney Investigations. I had a shower, so I'm all fluffy. Murder that occurred in my office. The return of the great thief Yatagarasu. Thinking back, everything began that fateful day 2 days ago. That fateful day 2 days ago, that's a long time. Oh no, did I die? No, that bloodstain's far away from my body. Oh, it's wine, apparently. Okay. And I'm psychic. Glad I can think in reverse. Yes, everything began high up in the air. 9,000 feet in the air, to be precise. An iFly, Apple's new plane station. Thank you for flying iFly. We are currently experiencing some slight turbulence. We're asking all passengers to please return to their seats and fasten their seatbelts. Be sure to download the latest seatbelt app. You can find it here on iFly Airlines. Uh-oh. Francisca here. I heard a whip sound. Ow! Oh no! March 12th? Oh no, I'm on the floor. Do I have like a private bar on an airplane? That seems pretty dangerous. Ugh. I'm alright. Also, hello Sivia, hello Sinosuke, and hello Bloodsilver. Hope you're all having a good night. Why do I feel like I just woke up from a horrible nightmare? On a plane. Check my watch, I don't have. 6:13, huh? I guess I was out cold for about 10 minutes. Ha! Slight turbulence indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently experiencing some slight turbulence. For your safety, we ask that you return to your seats and fasten your seatbelt. I don't have seatbelts. And why what? Why would the bar be a bad idea? It just seems like it'd be really easy for like a turbulence to just knock glasses over, as it did here. Unless they're all like fastened in, not to mention, you know, I don't have a seatbelt. Suppose turbulence is to be expected on a flight, though admittedly I'm less comfortable with anything resembling earthquakes. Ah, poor Edworth. Huh? What's this? Travel wallet, but it's not mine. How'd someone else's travel wallet wind up in my pocket? Ugh, my head. Why won't this headache go away? It's almost like I knocked my head on the floor. Take care of this travel wallet later, or hand it off to an attendant. From earthquake-like turbulence to an elevator. I'm glad they call back to his backstory, but it's still very sad. What am I doing hesitating like this? Actually, I know full well why I hesitate. It was when I was still but a young child. Better give a backstory flashback. Caught up in a murder that happened in an elevator. But how long am I going to let my past haunt me? It's just an elevator. I'm a grown man now. I need to behave like one. You can do it, Edgeworth. I believe in you. Oh, okay. What the? What in the world happened? Who the heck are you? You weren't there before. Is something wrong, sir? I must ask you please return to your seat. Eek? Your Seek? He's dead. Please calm down. We mustn't jump to conclusions without all the facts. Nope, he's dead. What's wrong? Did something happen? You murderer! What? No! You have it all wrong. It wasn't me. Leading to investigations too. What does that mean? There gonna be more flashbacks? Why is there a lifesaver on the floor? I don't understand it being on the plane, but why is it on the floor? That's a lot of bottles. That is a lot of bottles. Everyone, I am sorry to interrupt, but I have an important announcement. You're all going to die. I am your flight attendants today. Rhoda... Teniro? Rhoda Teniro. What's the joke there?
Everyone has to be a joke, right? Unfortunately, we have just had a minor accident on this flight. A minor accident. Someone died. An accident? Don't treat us like we're stupid. Caught a glimpse and it was murder. I'm surprised this guy got out of his seat. Okay, that's why it's on the floor. This guy is insane about safety procedures. He already got the mask down, he has the life jacket on, he has a... Why did they let him have a parachute? What? Murder? What's going on with this flight? Everyone, please calm down. No reason to panic. This flight will stay on course and make its scheduled landing. Is that a little kid or a sentient dumpling sitting on that chair? Eating a giant sandwich? Hard to tell through the text box. But it looks like a giant sandwich. Maybe a steak. He is still currently in the middle of rough patch turbulence. How's this second class? This seems like first class with how much stuff these guys have. That guy's a lamp. I guess they all have lamps. I hope those are nailed in. So until we're out of this area of turbulence, I ask you to remain seated. But someone was killed, right? I mean, what about... Okay, so it is a giant sandwich. It's French bread. And a game station. Well then. And a TV. There's a lot of dangerous things on this plane. There's no need to feel threatened. We have already apprehended the culprit. Kind of. Oh, that's me. Why'd you put me on the... Why not put me in, like, the storage or something? I ask that everyone please remain calm. What the heck is he talking about? Why should we remain calm? My name is Miles Edgeworth. I'm a prosecutor, and I assure you I am not the killer. That would actually cause them to panic, Edgeworth, because that means there's still a killer on board. Being a prosecutor doesn't make you incapable of murder, buddy. You would know that. Now you listen here. I'm not the killer. I simply found the body. So you say. However, I am sure that you are a perpetrator of this crime. I have nothing to really base that on. I swear on my honor as a professional flight attendant. Now we're going to turn that around. Oh, then I guess you're just not a flight attendant. Oh, was that right? I know what I saw. And there's even very strong incriminating evidence to back it up. What kind of incriminating evidence is she talking about? We've already alerted the proper authorities at our destination. Till we land, you remain in custody for the powers vested in our captain. I am going to speak on his behalf. I'm very sorry, but please understand our situation. You did come when the elevator was open. Not really sure how that happened. Your situation, I'm more concerned with mine, the direction it's going in. I'm not about to just sit idly by while I get accused of murder. Miss Tenero, was it? Yes? She has a square on the back of her head. I was wondering if you might give me a chance. A chance to do what? A chance to plead my case. And a chance to ask what you mean by incriminating evidence just now. To accuse a passenger of such a grave crime without allowing him to give a proper defense. Can the professional flight attendant inside you really call this action righteous? I don't know, I'm kind of a square, but you have a point. Very well, I'll listen to what you have to say. But be wary of what you reveal. I'm afraid you only look even more suspicious if your explanation fails to satisfy. 2 squares? I can't see the... yeah, I guess I can see it. I also do not have the time to deal with you all day, so please make it quick. Of course, as you wish. Good. Very well then. Let's get started. I know for a fact I didn't kill that man in the elevator. What I don't know is what sort of evidence she has up her sleeve. But I'm certain it doesn't fit with how the crime really occurred. What she saw. I mean, honestly, the guy could have just been in the elevator. Turbulence hit and he just knocked his head on the back on the wall. Also, hello, Reborn. Hope you're having a good day. Night. Whatever. I swear to tell the whole truth as a professional flight attendant. She has 3 squares. You lied to me. She has 3 whole squares. Maybe that last one might be a triangle. Or a sideways square. Unfortunately for you, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm certain you are the killer. Oh, no, that's definitely a square. Scene I saw in front of the elevator, it was you standing there with fresh blood dripping off the murder weapon. So if you would please cooperate, we'll turn you... That's your evidence? That was wine, lady. That's it? That's her evidence? I don't think you could ask for a more perfect witness testimony. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Edgeworth? Not really. It's hardly perfect when there's a gaping hole in it. Every scene adds a square. Oh no. Special square. That's true. Depends on how hard you hit it, I guess. Oh wow, I can actually check this. Let's see. That's a lot of money. Is that not the murder weapon right there? He also has a thing missing off his neck. I wonder what that's about. Is that a cat or a... It looks like a cat. Looks like one of those really fat-faced cats. Whoever was after him wasn't after money, that's for sure. But there whatever is on his neck, so probably some sort of key card? Why is this in my inventory? All times shown correspond to our departure time zone. What? How's that gonna help me? I guess something about meals is gonna be important later. Anyways, I guess I'll press this first, just in case. Wait, can I? Okay. Hold it! What? The murder weapon dripping with blood? Really now? I swear it was the grisly scene I saw before me. Thank goodness it wasn't a passenger who saw it. There'd be widespread panic by now, even though we already told everyone. As I recall, you were quite panicked yourself at the time. Excuse me? You were scared enough to misread the situation, accuse me of murder. Nonsense. Professional flight attendants cannot afford to be that flustered. I definitely didn't say seek. I witnessed the murder scene and now listening to your defense, all with a smile. Apparently you also lie with a smile on your face. Why would I cooperate with you? Even if I was the murderer. Miss Torino! What is with the yelling all of a sudden? Don't yell at me! Ugh, force of habit. Well, it doesn't matter. Miss Torino, say you saw the murder weapon dripping with blood. Is that correct? Yes, I didn't confiscate it from you, but all that blood... Just recalling the scene sends a chill down my spine. Sorry, but your so-called professional flight attendant training has failed you. I like that bang flip. I'd like to direct your attention to this. Just give me a second. I can pull out my wallet. There we go. There it is. I don't know how I got my hand free, but do you know what this is? It's a travel wallet, right? Teniro? Teniro. That sounds better. Thank you, Sivia. It looks a little big and bulky. The thing you saw me holding when I discovered the dead body in the elevator was this very travel wallet, Miss Teniro. What? Impossible! How could I have not seen that in your hand? Now then, do you still think I am the killer? That I killed him with a travel wallet? But I saw blood dripping from the wallet. I know I did. As you can see, this wallet's clearly stained. But if you would be so kind as to take a whiff, or a lick, I don't know how this wine smells, I think you'd agree it's only grape juice. Grape juice? That is clearly strawberry. Then... That's right, you mistook grape juice for blood. And I mistook grape juice for strawberry juice, but that doesn't matter. Murder weapon dripping with blood does not in fact exist. There, that should clear up that pesky accusation. Hold it. But wait just a sec. I mean, even a wallet could be deadly if it was wrapped around something heavy. It's... Whoa. Speaking of something heavy, it just dropped.
Entertain me.
Entertain me.
There's never wine in this series.
Thanks for the 2-month subscription, Sanosuke. It's still strawberry juice. I mean, even a wallet could be deadly if wrapped around something heavy. I demand you show me what's inside, please. She's trembling, and the tacked on please at the end. Sounds like I've got her. No need to look inside, even you can tell from its appearance that it's light. Can't be sure. Oh, is she trying to steal the wallet? I see the content of the wallet myself. She's persistent one. Suppose we have no choice but to see what's inside. Miss Teniro, if you would be so kind as to open the wallet and check its contents for me. You kind of tied my hands together. Usually don't pry into passengers' belongings, but we have no choice here. KK? KK Slider? Seems this passport's all that's in here. As you saw, there's nothing but a passport inside. That renders your wallet was a murder weapon argument moot. Wouldn't you agree? Hold it. Please hear me out, Mr. Edgeworth. What is it now? Well, I was wondering, whose passport is it exactly? Can I take a look?
Why not? I'm rather curious myself. I don't know.
This is... just as I thought. This travel wallet, Republic of Borgania. Huh, he's from the same place as Lammy, right? Mr. Ackby Hicks. Makes it the victim's property. That's good to know. You stole the victim's wallet, didn't you? How dare you! You said it yourself. You claimed to be holding this wallet in your hands when I found you. This girl is like super accusing. Perhaps I misconstrued the wallet for the murder weapon, but it seems that it wasn't wrong about who the culprit is. As you claim, the murder weapon's not the travel wallet. However, it is something you stole from Mr. Hicks after you were done with the vile deed. I find it hard to believe myself, but your motive was very simple. You were out to steal Mr. Hicks' money, weren't you? Okay, well that's an easy one.
Even though I didn't have the murder weapon on me,
You still suspect me, I see. You stood up at the crime scene with the victim was wallet in your hands. How can I turn a blind eye and not suspect you of foul play? Eyes twitching? I also have plenty of drinks today. I have another in my fridge, too.
just in case doing this slightly deeper voice is a little tedious on my throat. Objection! I wonder if I might get a word in, Miss Torino. Teniro. Whatever, sorry.
What is it now?
Miss Teniro, I wonder if you noticed the contradiction within your own testimony.
What are you talking about?
It's simply impossible the motive for this murder was monetary theft. One glance at the crime scene should have told you that. What about this scene would prove the motive for the murder weapon was not money? I don't know, the money? Why do I need to present this? This one's obvious. If I may direct your attention to the things strewn all over the floor that we can apparently see for some reason. That's right, the floor is covered in bills and coinage. Also I think a Visa card. Why you're rational? These were the very things the killer would after. I think we can assume that the wallet fell during the victim's struggle with his killer, and I would think that the killer would have noticed something like money scattering everywhere. Furthermore, as you can see, there was no effort made by the killer to gather that money.
But the wallet...
Objection! Shut up! Oh yes, the wallet. You also recall the only thing in there was Mr. Hicks' passport. If you are really insisting that it was a crime based on greed, you're claiming that it was for an empty travel wallet. You gonna explode?
Forgive me, please. Oh no, I did that thing for my cousin, who was actually Master Mask. I forget his actual name. What was his actual name?
I forget. Hey, what the heck? Are you saying the attendant's wrong? That guy isn't the killer? Heh, don't believe it, everyone. It's a trick. Will you all please be quiet? I'm speaking here. That's a neat jacket over there. Miss Teniro.
Yeah, that was it, Ron. Ron Desiree.
No, Desiree was the girl.
Yeah, Ron Delight. I think that's it.
Him, yeah.
This girl also must be a delight.
You lost your cool when you saw the dead body. Plus, the lounge was dark and looking into light from the elevator. It's as easy to see how you mistook the wall in my hand for the murder weapon. I take no offense you thought I was the killer.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Thank you for releasing me.
I didn't skip it. I didn't see until I said it. Hello, Nestor. How's it going? Hope you're having a good night.
Is that Borginian? What is it now?
I see. So we've met a shaman.
Miss Teniro, if you could please translate, I'd be much obliged.
It sounds like Borginian, but I don't understand any of it. There's another attendant on this flight who...
I said he's giving the roundabout. The runabout. I don't require an interpreter. I speak English just well, see? You, the attendant.
Yes, sir.
I want this person to be under arrest until we arrive at the airport.
I'm sorry, sir, but what exactly are you hoping for?
What do you want? I'm done talking to Lux of you.
I would like to hear why you'd like for me to be held under arrest until we land. Hadouken icon in the Borginian, yeah.
You, how dare you try to waste my time? You were the one who stuck your nose into my affairs. I want to spend even at least one more second with my precious art. I have no time for other things. I know what you are, I see through you. Insolvent, yes, I'm pretty sure that's how you say that in English.
Well, I hope I don't dissolve into water, but I don't think that's what you meant. Sorry, but I don't think I caught your name.
I am Zinc LeBlanc, the second. I'm a very wealthy man in the Borginia, and, you know, not here, apparently. But I'm not an ordinary rich man, I'm an art dealer. This rich seller of beauty.
Shouldn't this stuff be, like, in the luggage? Mr. LeBlanc, what do you mean just now?
Pardon?
You said that Mr. Edgeworth was giving me the runabout.
I have to explain? Unbelievable. I will say it once and only once. Don't even have a second to I don't have a second to waste. Time is money, as they say.
Oh, an animated. Yes, and then you continue to blather on.
I saw it, yes I did. I saw the victim go into the elevator, going down to the lounge. It was exactly 6 o'clock.
And what's the significance of that time? At 6, he says. Wait, you saw him at 6? What's the matter, Mr. Edgeworth?
He understands, I see. Let me pull out my pocket watch, and I got one over here.
My watch is off. Yep, it is golden. It's all fancy and very sparkly. Does not open up, though. It's not one that has like a little thing that opens up. But it is a very fancy watch. I always keep it in my jacket whenever I can actually wear that, you know? Which, you know, is, you know, 'tis the season. But I'm keeping it in here since then. It was a gift a couple years ago. I like using it, even if I have my phone.
Miss Attendant, what time did you discover the body?
Well, it was a little after that patch of turbulence, so I would say around 6:15.
Hicks, what's his name, was it? That man Hicks was killed in the 15-minute time span. The only person allowed at that time was this prosecutor, yes?
Not necessarily. There's like 3 people missing from here. Yeah, I was in my seat the whole time. I don't move, except for my head. I just wiggle back and forth. Me too. I was watching the movie and enjoying a fine glass of grape juice.
I was still eating, and I still haven't finished, see? The other passengers have an alibi. You have no problem with them, I suppose? No complaint, I see. Not a single word against this, right?
I have no way of discounting what you put forth at this point, but it wasn't me.
Oh, so you say. But do you have, what you say, the evidence?
Mr. Edgeworth, really the culprit after all? Mr. LeBlanc, I suppose you're quite certain of what you saw, enough to give testimony.
Of course, I was looking at that man the whole time. He was playing with that annoying little, small machine the whole time. Yes, that's what you people call it in English, yes? Making me crazy with the click, click, click.
That description sounds like some sort of small computer. I believe what Mr. LeBlanc is talking about is a cell phone. I have to say, I did see him playing with it quite a bit myself. A simple cell phone, a laptop, or organizer I can see, but that's kind of low budget.
I hate noisy little machine in his hand. Not a fragment of beauty. All it produces is ugly sound. Anyway, I know what I saw.
Miss Torino. Yes? I was wondering if I might be granted permission to examine the crime scene. What? You want to examine the crime scene? If you would grant me a little measure of time, I'm sure I can produce the real culprit.
I don't like the sound of that. Fox in a duck pen. Yes, I think it's how you say it in English. I believe innocence was proven earlier.
Oh. Wait, wrong person. It's Fox guarding a hen house, and I believe my innocence was proven earlier. And if I'm given the chance, I can clear up all the remaining doubts. Miss Torino, if you wait until we arrive, there's a good chance that some evidence will have been destroyed by then. I understand. Let me see what the captain has to say.
Heh, this should not be approved.
Please, Mr. LeBlanc, in an emergency, all decisions are made by the captain alone. The captain's gonna end up being the bad guy. I hope he has a cool hat. Please wait until I ask for the captain to do. I'll be right back.
You're not planning to erase evidence when you're doing your investigation, yes?
Of course not.
Heh, we will see.
That was quick. Mr. Edgeworth, you have the captain's permission to investigate the crime scene.
What? Unbelievable.
I am in your debt, Miss Tenero. However, there's one condition. I am to supervise you. Can you agree to that?
Of course, I see no problem with that stipulation.
It's only natural, as I am still a suspect in this case. I take full responsibility and will watch Mr. Edgeworth's every move. Hope this is reassurance enough there will be no foul play. Unless I am the culprit, but I'm not going to say that out loud. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, shall we proceed? If you need my help for anything, please feel free to touch the partner button.
From a detective to a flight attendant. Time to head to the scene of the crime, the first floor lounge. Why did it zoom over there? Why did it do that? Oh, cool. I get chess? Ah, that's right. I was in the middle of recreating a chess game.
Just an observation, but aren't there too many red knights around that lone blue pawn?
Nonsense. This simply shows the blue pawn is no match for the red knight's might. What does that mean, Edgeworth?
What's a lifesaver doing here? I bought it at the fly shop just beyond the lounge. If something should happen, having one will save your life.
I think this guy would have better off not taking a plane to begin with. Oh, whoops.
Are you in need of assistance?
Nah, I'm good. I don't care about their captain's permission. Look at all these bottles lined up in a row. It's a miracle they made it through the turbulence without a scratch. Actually,
we asked the drink vendor to clean up all the ones that did break earlier.
then you mean to tell me you put all these up after the turbulence?
We are simply thrilled to have someone so invested in the variety of drinks available. We have grape juice and pineapple juice and some kind of like weird maple syrup juice. It's pretty good. And then there's strawberry juice, I guess, but it looks like grape juice, so everyone mistakes it for grape juice.
I don't think anyone should drink this much. There's such a thing as overhydration. Yes, that's what that is. Oh, is that the lounge? I thought I had to go to the elevator. Okay. I want to thank you for your help back there, Miss Teniro.
It was nothing. You should thank the captain for granting your permission. How did I get here on the cap? And just so everything is perfect here, I still don't trust you to that extent. I don't want you to think you're standing with me as change.
I see. I will bear that in mind.
No, it's all juice. It's all fruit juice. It's fine. I received an order from the captain earlier. He wanted you to know that we reserve the right to stop your investigation when we feel you are not making progress. And when we do, we ask you to please return to your seat at that time.
So my time runs out of this crew discretion, does it? Discretion. I find discredit Mr. LeBlanc's testimony before time is up. I understand. By the way, is there any place you can think of where the killer might hide on board?
I don't think so. After every first-class passenger was accounted for in his or her seat, I thought we were on second class. We made a thorough search of the plane. As for the business and economy class, no one can move between those two classes in first class without a staff keycard.
Ah, so it was a keycard he stole.
Found no record of a keycard being used at all.
Means that I have a first-class killer on my hands. At least I know that much for sure. And one other thing, no one else has been allowed near this crime scene since the murder was discovered either. Now then, let's get started.
Where should we start from?
Let's start with Mr. LeBlanc's statements. Crime occurred between 6 a.m. and 6:15 a.m. That's a pretty early flight. During that interval, the only person allowed was myself. Makes me the prime suspect. However, since I did not kill Mr. Hicks, it means that the killer was around somewhere. Probably in the elevator, I would assume.
If we are to believe what you say is true, then yeah, I guess.
First order of business is to gather information to win your trust.
Sorry, but that's impossible.
What floor does this elevator service?
Only the first and second, although it can also go down to the cargo hold. However, that requires a flight crew keycard.
So the only floors accessible are the first and second. Logic. Won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. It's my catchphrase. Wonder what was hanging off this Leonard. Something is missing from this picture. Now I just put my finger on it. Money is strewn all over the floor of the elevator. I would guess it was all in Mr. Hicks' wallet at some point. Why'd they take his wallet out? What is this sinister-looking figure on the floor here? Oh, it's a pig? Oh, it's a piggy bank. Okay. It's a raccoon, I guess. Piggy bank of our company mascot, Mr. Ify. Mr. Iffy.
It's one of our many pieces of merchandise we sell in our in-flight shop. This bank is limited edition. It's popular. We're drawn to our last one. Down to our last one.
You have an in-flight shop?
Yes, it's just beyond the lounge to the right. The shutter in the store is closed at the moment, but it was open the whole flight up until Mr. Hicks' body was discovered. There's blood on here. Could this have been the murder weapon? I don't see any blood. Let's examine his head itself. Not anyone was expecting to find a dead body in an elevator on this flight. So Mr. Hicks, he's really dead?
Yes.
She's trembling, although I can't fault her that when there's a corpse right here. Mr. Hicks, if you're really dead, then please answer yes.
What? I see she's over the trembling now, although a new symptom seems to have appeared. Anyways, I should focus on the victim's body.
Blood on the back of Mr. Hicks' head. Could it be the cause of death? Struck very hard. Oh, now I see the blood. It's on the bottom right. Even his glasses are broken. A statue with blood laying next to the body of a man who was beaten to death. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, I think I figured something out.
Yes? What is it?
The way the blood is on this looks like it matches up with the wound on his head.
Well, aren't we deserving of the Master of Obvious title?
Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth?
Don't you think that's worth investigating? It would appear that figurine is our murder weapon.
Oh, I just knew it. And I can't think of any other connection. It definitely isn't a wallet.
Perhaps the Master of the Oblivious would be more befitting.
Right? How'd she work that out? I'm impressed. This girl is obviously best partner. It's what I would say if Gumshoe didn't exist. Better question is, how'd she read my mind? I don't have any other clues, I think. Not yet. Glasses and candles thrown in disarray of the turbulence. Been a while since I've seen this big of a mess. Terribly embarrassing, but I thought it was an earthquake for a second. And I frantically started searching for gas valves to shut off.
Guess the shaking of the plane was bad enough to be mistaken for a real earthquake. I probably shouldn't think that to myself. Not that I would know, since I was unconscious for most of it.
Bottles and glasses must have been broken by the turbulence. There's quite a bit of broken glass here. Please be careful when passing through the area. Thank you very much for the warning, Mr. Edward. However, no matter how kind you are towards me, know that it does not clear up any suspicions I have about you.
I wasn't warning you for the sake of clearing my name. I was just being, considerate.
What about this door? The door leads to the flight attendant's room. But please understand that it's off limits to unauthorized personnel.
I was getting off the scent of a woman's perfume. I don't think the perfume would smell great. However, to me it simply smells. Not that I have any interest in what lies behind this door.
Perhaps we should return to investigation, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth?
Sorry, I spaced out for a second there.
Mr. Edgeworth. Interested in perfume, I see. There are a few copies of Sky Magazine, the magazine holder. It's much special as an English trivia quiz. That's not a bad idea.
Heard that the youth of today don't know a particle from a participle?
Now, please don't go around confusing people with made-up words, Mr. Edgeworth. Who's ever heard of such a silly word as participle?
Case in point.
What's this? What or who is this? This is a bronze statue of the founder of iFly Airlines, Mr. Hugo Fly. Yeah, that's pretty strange, I have to say. The one on the left is when he was in his 40s, and the one is in the 80s. They look exactly the same.
Did the man actually age in the span of 4 decades?
Yeah, I need to squint more. What's this thing on the ground? That's what I want to know. Counter windows out so a glimpse of the sky for these clouds. They tell me nothing. Mr. Edgeworth, you look like you're talking to the clouds.
That's so. Tell me, what do you suppose I said to them?
I don't know, but it looked like a rather one-sided conversation. Clouds, they tell me nothing. That was deep. That was deep, Edgeworth. So I guess I can't look at this thing, right? Toppled over chair. Yet another victim of the turbulence. Oh no, look at all that grape juice staining in the back. May not look it, but this chair was extremely valuable.
It was?
Yes, it was used when Rocker Pals came on this plane. Who? I recognize the Gavineers, but the Rocker Pals? The Rocker Pals leader sat in this very chair. I'm sorry, but what are these Rocker Pals? Some kind of child's band? I can't believe you never heard of them. They're all the rage. Rocker Pals are extremely popular international band. They added the Pals part after they became more popular, especially among teens. Ah, that explains. I'm not really one for music of today. Maybe I should ask Detective Gumshoe about them later. On second thought, I can already see how confusing the conversation would get. Yeah, pal, I understand. I know Rocker Pals. They're, those guys with, like, the raccoon and whatnot, right, pal? Yeah, they're pretty good. See, the bronze statue knows not when a good drink has been split at its feet, spilt. The statue founder, Mr. Hugo, Sir, he'd be thrilled if he knew so much great juice were at his feet. Is that a hint of hero worshipping I detect? Bottle here, too. I guess we can't go over here just yet. In-flight shop just beyond these shutters, but we don't have permission to open them, so I'm afraid I must leave them closed. Must still be clues to be found in this lounge. I must remain ever vigilant. Is there something I can logic up? Grand piano is the pride of this plane. You can play music for whatever CD we insert into the CD drive. That's not how pianos work. That's not a piano. It's more like an overgrown music box. But the keys press along with the music, although there's really someone playing it. As though there were really someone playing it. Some people have entirely too much money to waste on overly complex toys. I think I can really logic together. Wasn't anyone else in the lounge other than myself right before the turbulence. But if the killer was in the elevator along with the victim, that's a different story. I could prove the killer rode the elevator with Hicks. So what is this? Is this a raccoon? I guess it kind of looks like a raccoon. Or no, it looks more like a bear. Panda bear, maybe? Oh, what the? Oh, okay, that's the... I thought that was like... Is that an eye on the top of his head? But no, I remember it's a piggy bank. This is where you insert your coins. I have to say, for a piggy bank, it's made rather well. So well, in fact, I'm not sure there's a way to take your money out. Huh. I guess that's fair. Some blood on one of the corners. Could this piggy bank be the murder weapon? We've already proven that, Edward. Well, actually, we should sniff it. It might be grape juice. Let's see. What is at 6? At 6, it looks like you get drinks. And the movie starts at 7? And goes on until 8. That might be important, now that we know that there's actually a time frame. But no food. Can I not go back up? Okay, so there must be nothing I need to worry about in there. Glasses are broken. What does that mean, though? Anything in his pocket? Something sticking out of his pocket. Hope you won't mind if I take a look at what's inside. It's a picture. Looks like it was taken inside a building somewhere. That's a very scary statue. Looks like a museum. Oh, he did have a thing in there. Hang on. Oh wait, wrong picture. Okay, that looks like... cell phone? Not really sure. But I guess we can deduce that what was stolen from here. While somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold. Eureka! This is how I actually sound. Mr. Hicks' machine is nowhere to be found. And like the Pink Panther even, or whatever that guy was. His machine? His cell phone, Miss Taniro. Guess it's because it's not here. Yes, I think we can safely deduce the killer took it. So it was a cell phone. So it wasn't a key card, but they had to have a key card. Go get some grape juice. I have eggnog. So let me tempt people with that. In my Sailor Moon cup. Which has to be cleaned every time I drink from it. Because otherwise it gets messy. Anything else that really sticks out? Not really. Move the elevator. Okay. Maybe... What's this? Yeah, of course. I don't drink alcohol. Doubt I ever will. Did the killer take it? Let's see. And, you know, to each their own with that. As long as you don't do it excessively and, you know, hurt yourself, I don't judge. Hey, what do you have to say to Nero? Are you in need of assistance? Captain permission, why not? Miss Taniro, I'd like to ask you about investigating the lounge. As long as you have the captain's permission, I can't stop you from looking around. If you could pass the message along, tell him I'm grateful for his spirit of cooperation. I will. However, please realize you are still under suspicion. To be honest, I still have my doubts about you. Of course, and I take no offense. Do you really understand what I'm saying? Yes, verily. You pinky swear you do on your honor of professional prosecutor? I pinky swear I do on my honor as a professional prosecutor. Well, guess that settles that. You know, my honor as a man slowly diminishing, though. Alcohol is gross. I wouldn't know. I've never had it. I was wondering if you noticed anything, Mr. Nero. Yes, I can't help but notice the sad atmosphere in here. Yes, it's rather a tragic crime. I'll say, robbing the poor man after bludgeoning him on death talk about rubbing in the salt. Can't forgive someone who would do this to a passenger of mine, she says, glaring at me. I swear as a professional flight attendant I will capture the culprit with my own hands. I promise as a prosecutor to solve this case with logic and deduction. I should go all over the leads I've collected so far one more time. The key to solving this lies with the intersection of my logic and the evidence. Okay. Guilty until proven innocent, I see. How very normal for this universe. You know about the piggy bank? I don't know. It doesn't seem like she cares about any of this nonsense. I have a badge. I don't know. Hello, Maestro. How's it going? Jeez, way too many people here. Her profile picture does not do her justice when it's zoomed out. Something about her lips just seems a little off. It looks okay zoomed in, but not sure what it is. Just something seems off about her zoomed out face. Anyways. Alright, what am I missing here? Am I done here? I can't go back up, so I guess not. Okay, but if it wasn't this attendant, then it must have been the other attendant, I guess. Okay, the only thing that comes back is I'd have to connect these two, I guess. Those two don't really seem to connect to me. Yeah, I didn't think so. Not exactly a shining example of the perfect line of logic. I'm glad I confirmed that, because that didn't seem right. I can't prove he's in there with that. The clouds, they tell me nothing. Okay, there must be evidence I'm not seeing quite yet. Alright, I guess that counts as a hit, huh? Oh, wow. Why do I have pings? Hang on. Checking something real quick, making sure I didn't miss some moderator thing. Doesn't seem like it. Okay, whatever. I think Lanny went live. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, what am I missing here? Something in the corner. I guess we can't go here yet. I know I don't. But in case someone messages me, like actually messages me and not just pings me, I look at it. Because, you know, it's polite to at least notice someone message you. I don't know. What am I missing here? I can't examine something I don't have, at least. That's good. Yeah, direct message. That's a very spooky statue. I kind of want to say Phoenix is in the back there, too. At least someone with a very similar style of hair, from what I can tell from this vague pixel graphics. They show up at the top, but I didn't have Discord open. So all I saw was like the number appear on the toolbar. Hello, Mimikyu. Hope you're having a good night. But anyways, I'm not looking now, so don't worry. I am completely lost, though. I don't know what I missed. Did I miss something on the body? There must be evidence I didn't see here. Something that points to the person being on the elevator with them. I mean, honestly, there's no proof that the murder took place in here, I guess. Could have just shoved into the elevator. What up here? Nope, nothing. What am I missing here? Well, we're out of just ice, but we have plenty of grape juice everywhere. I'm really wondering what this thing is, but they won't tell me. Looks like maybe a bucket for picking up ice? I don't know. Can I not go up? What am I missing? Maybe there's a secret on something I can examine. The wallet, maybe? Okay, but can I open it? Grape juice stains the outer cover. True, it was I who dropped the juice, however I didn't do it out of ill intention. Turbulence. Yeah, but can I open it? I wanna see the picture. Why can't I see the picture, game? In here. No money whatsoever inside this travel wallet. Okay. Money whatsoever inside this travel wallet. Alright, I'm completely... Probably something small I'm missing here. Is that a new movie over there I see? don't really need a picture of this, I think. Now that I've seen the actual thing. That's pretty much telling me I'm done here. You know, Edward's response to this makes it seem like he wasn't the one sitting in this chair. So he must have just fallen down. I don't blame him, he's pretty traumatized by shaking like that. What's that picture of? Guy riding a horse? Looks like it. Yeah, I've been sitting in here for a while. I don't remember. I don't know. I guess I'll just check everything. When in doubt. I can't go back up for whatever reason. Okay, I already checked that one. Do one little thing real quick. The numbers were actually bothering me, but I marked as red, and now I'm minimizing it. Anyways. Can I go in the elevator, maybe? Nope. There's gotta be something in the elevator itself. Let's see. In his shoes, maybe? Soles of his shoes, making it highly unlikely Mr. Hicks entered this elevator after the turbulence. That's a good point. That is a good point. So he got hit before the turbulence. I've been trying to look at the card. It just says money whenever I try to look at it. Try this one? Yeah, it just keeps saying money. That's like the first thing I try to do is look at the card. That should be a different card. But I don't have a different card. I did, right? Unless I'm just... See? Any more to the right, just does the Mr. iFly. It's a dumb name, by the way. I can't go any lower than that. I had moused over both of them. I did it to both of them. In a row. Yeah, neither of those work. Maybe... I wonder if there's any differences between the two scenes. No, looks pretty much the same. No noticeable differences. It's okay. Hope you're enjoying your Nier. But I am completely lost. I'm not entirely sure what I need to be doing here. There's some evidence I have not seen. That's apparently throwing me off. Can't go over there. I've looked at both statues. Like a piece of evidence I need to present to her? Because she's not talking. I thought I did. It doesn't even let me do this one, just talks about the chair. Is it this scene? Ah, of course. I did that earlier and it did the statue. Okay, thanks, Freeport. Was spilled grape juice on the elevator in front of the elevator. Spilled during the turbulence. Let's clean that up or someone might get hurt. Aha! What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I found some very important evidence. What is the important piece of evidence in the scene? I'm assuming this. Not sure what's so important about that, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh wait, that was the footprints. Time to get careless. Allow me to point it out to you one more time. Take that. What? Also, I forgot to pull up one thing. I knew I forgot something. I'm not gonna count that one logic thing. That was just me being dumb. Bleh, bleh, bleh. I was thinking, hey, there's a big piece of bottle missing. Let's see. Where is it? A little smudged, but I think we can both agree they are a set of footprints. So you think, yes, these belong to our killer. Oh, then maybe we should check the shoe sizes of everyone in the first class. I don't think that would be any help to us. Unfortunately, the prints are too smudged. It would make it hard to get a definite match. Oh, I see. But we can... can I examine that again? Oh, oops. Okay, so we can't just say, hey, let's go over there. Can I examine this place again? Oh, darn it. Hang on. Close all of that. Fortunately, the delightful scent of grapes is obscured. Okay, so now I can logic, I'm guessing. It's the same smell as the smell of my towels after they come out of my home dryer. I use, you know, grape dryer. I just throw grapes in there. I would have never expected something like that by looking at you. Suppose everyone has something unpleasant about them. Wow. I have it! I'm sorry, but I don't understand, Mr. Edgeworth. You just kind of stared into space for a second, and then something exploded, and... I can prove that someone other than myself was here around the time of the murder. What? Really? Yes, it's rather simple, actually. We already proved it with the footprints, I guess. Proof is in the pudding, or rather the grape juice in this case. These footsteps here confess to me this very fact. Someone exited the elevator alive. Seeing as the victim was dead, that would mean the second person. Couldn't the footprints be from Mr. Hicks himself? Ah, but if you take a look at our victim's shoes, you can see the soles are spotless. Which means... Mr. Hicks wasn't alone in the elevator. In fact, it's quite the opposite. There was actually one other person inside the elevator. Hooray, I had figured it out. Investigation complete. My health restored. What's going on over there?
Unforgivable. This is unforgivable. You understand what I'm saying? The movie is late. The same level as bad as the other plane if the plane arrived late.
But the movie...
What? I will not talk to you anymore. You're just wasting my time.
What is the matter, Mr. LeBlanc? There's no emergency. Please return to your seat.
You gotta tell me what to do. I need to sit down. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, do you prove your innocence yet?
If you would like, I will prove my innocence to you right now.
What? Nonsense. Are you saying my eyewitness testimony was mistaken?
Not mistaken, merely there's no room for doubt. I'd be most honored if you could please tell me what you saw in detail once more.
Fine, suit yourself.
What I saw. You know, a lot of characters seem to be twitching. Like, the girl has the eye twitch, this guy is biting his lip and twitching. Like, I'm glad they seem, like, more active. Because, you know, in the other games, they were kind of just static until they did something. Or they would just constantly be like, I don't know. But... seems painful.
I am certain I saw Mr. Hicks enter that elevator when the needles on my pocket watch pointed to 6 and the 12. Body was discovered 15 minutes after that in the lounge, yeah? Then you, the only person in the lounge at that time, must be the criminal.
That's pretty faulty logic, but whatever. Does the block conclusion seem to make logical sense? Not really. The only person in the lounge supposed to see the time of the murder was me.
Tell my eyewitness testimony. Think you can destroy it? Then come. Let me see. Feel like a man who's having the time to wait for you?
Why is he so irritated? I'm the one accused of murder here. Anyways, I must find a way to discredit Mr. LeBlanc's account somehow, and fast.
Ah, but it's probably gonna be like something like a time zone. I assume the pocket watch in this case is the one you keep checking, is that correct?
Oh, you noticed. It's a very expensive antique, I'll have you know. Feeling is wonderful and I fully wind it up by hand.
It does look very well designed and quite classy.
I'll have to charge you if you want to touch it.
That's quite alright. Let's continue with your testimony.
What a cheap man you are. Now return the time you wasted back to me. I'm late for a very important date. We must have follow Mr. Hicks into the elevator by 6 o'clock.
Yes? That is the most mistaken way of thinking I've ever heard of.
Hold it. No. Your silly opinion is what's mistaken.
Please calm down, both of you. In a sense, you're both mistaken. Well, if that isn't the pot calling the kettle black, then I don't know what is. Certainly has a lot of confidence in his testimony. If push comes to shove, I may need to press him for more information. He has a very pretty jacket, at least. Looks like sunflowers exploding. Guess I'll press everything. Were you able to take a good look at the inside of the elevator at the time?
Of course I saw what was inside.
And you were sure that the victim was in the elevator alone?
The only person inside that was Mr. Hicks man.
The last outburst is a bit too important to let go. Was he really alone?
Of course. I'll even bet 1 cent.
A cheap ante for a cheap testimony. If that's how you want to play it, I'll happily take your 1 cent. Something being dragged. Mr. LeBlanc,
What is it?
there's a very glaring contradiction in your testimony.
What do you mean?
Please take a look at the area in front of the elevator. There at the spilled grape juice.
Yes, and we mean you also spilled the blood?
No, it spilled itself during the turbulence. But the interesting thing here is the set of grape juice footprints.
Footprints? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm blind to any foot or feet. I mean, what even are feet? I don't have those.
Yes, the ones that lead from within the elevator out to the lounge itself. Evidence that proves that someone other than Mr. Hicks exited the elevator alive.
Oof.
Wow, that is a very, interesting sprite. There must have been another person in the elevator with Mr. Hicks. Now then, I'm done playing games. Why don't you tell us the truth? Can you please translate for us? Oh, it's a koala, isn't it? I can tell. No, not a koala, a sloth.
Yeah, I don't know why I said koala. I know what koalas look like. Huh. I can tell because now it has really long arms.
Like, no way, that's totally impossible? I guess that's what he said.
No way, that's totally impossible. I know there's no other person in there. I saw it with my own eyes.
If you don't want us to know, if you want to know what I think, Mr. Edgeworth, I don't think Mr. LeBlanc is lying to us. Suppose she's right, doesn't seem to be lying. What does this mean? What about the contradiction? Mr. LeBlanc, please, just one more. Will you recall the details of what you witnessed for me?
I guess. I was very upset when Mr. Hicks passed by my seat. I was always checking the time over and over again. I had to follow that man with my eyes when he passed me. I saw clearly in the elevator he was entering. But there was no one else inside. No one.
If you would please calm down.
What? There you have an issue with my eyewitness testimony?
Not at all. Forget I said anything. And again, he doesn't appear to be lying. Can't let this stand as the truth. He's too nervous. So, are you still upset now?
I'm always upset. Well, at least he's honest about it. The only time I'm not when I have a piece of art in my hands.
It's surprisingly easy to believe that about him.
I was even more upset when Mr. Hicks walked by me. Now, at least he's a very honest guy.
Why were you so attentive at the time?
Because something unforgivable was happening.
Come to think of it, you were yelling about something unforgivable earlier.
That was a complaint to the attendant about the movie starting time. Return me back my time and money. You understand the point?
Movie? Is he talking about the in-flight one that's mentioned in the magazine? It's supposed to start at 7. Summary of the plot and start time. Interesting.
They're supposed to show license to love, laugh, and maim and murder. You cannot see the movie in my country, you can only see it in international flights. I look forward greatly to that movie. Checking my pocket watch whenever possible so I would not miss it. I even set my pocket watch to destination time when I came on board. Though my watch is not wrong, it's matched to the schedule. Yet the movie is still late. Very, very late.
Hold it. Your pocket watch. I'd like to ask you a little more about that, if that's alright. So he did have it an hour late. Or an hour... yeah, an hour late. This movie you mentioned, is it the one listed in the Sky magazine?
Yes. I was so looking forward to watching License to Love, Laugh, Maim, and Murder.
Miss Tenero, was this movie shown on this flight?
Yes, it was shown at the scheduled time.
Isn't it possible you simply slipped through it by accident?
Nonsense. You doubt me?
Yes.
What time is it now?
Stop pointing at me like that. Odd, how did he miss a movie that he was clearly hoping to see? I don't know if I have enough for pointing evidence yet. Sure about what you testified, Mr. LeBlanc?
Yes, of course. I'm a very busy man. I'm immediately busy when I land. I have many places to go. I don't have time to waste adjusting my pocket watch.
I see. That was a very valuable statement. Very valuable statement you just made.
Flatter me all you want. You don't get 1 cent out of me.
That's alright. All I require is a piece of testimony. Okay.
Ah, okay.
Departure time zone, not destination time zone. Mr. LeBlanc, you said this just now in your testimony.
I even set my pocket watch. I'm gonna flash back to something you just, objected to.
Now, if your watch has been set to our destination's time zone, it would mean that your watch is displaying the time at our destination.
Yes, and correct time is worth its 6 cents.
I'd like to take a look at this. If you believe the Sky magazine, clocks in this flight run in accordance with the time at our departure time zone. Movie schedule was also created with that in mind. Miss Tenero, for confirmation's sake, what time zone is this flight aligned to right now? Well, we made a short stop at the transfer point. That's right. It was in that small Asian country, the Republic of Xingfa. But we didn't readjust our onboard clocks at that time. So right now we're still running on Borginian time.
What?
The time difference between Borginia and our destination is 9 hours. Whoa, that's a big difference. In that case, it's only natural your watch to be out of sync with schedule. Where'd that wind come from? And also, whoa. Further, with your analog watch set to your destination's time, it would appear to be running 3 hours fast when compared to the flight's onboard clocks. Also changes everything about your testimony. And you can bet 1 million cents on that. How much is 1 million cents? Like $1,000, maybe? In light of this information, it means you saw Mr. Hicks 3 hours prior to 3 a.m. Jeez.
My 1 million cents! Oh no.
Wasn't he standing on the right? How's he standing on the left now? Someone needs to fire this camera guy. He's clearly relaxing on the job on one of those stools. He's supposed to be standing up, man. This should clear up all remaining accusations. So it basically widens the time frame for the time of death, right? Yes, because Mr. LeBlanc saw the victim into the elevator at 3 a.m. Means the time of the death could be anywhere from 3 to 6:15. Question is now, was Mr. Hicks during that span of time, and what was he doing? I got something to say. And you are? Yeah, oh. I'm Camby Melee? Super Smash Brothers Melee. I'm a flight attendant? And what is it you wish to say? Well, I think your story's a little different from how I remember it, even though I don't think we've met yet. Like Meal? Mealy? Cammy Mealy. What do you mean, Cammy? I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 a.m., you know. Just Meal? But there's an E at the end. Darn silent letters. What? How can you be so sure of the time? Oh, that's right. He pushed his call button while we were parked at the transfer point. Ah, the stop we made for refueling and cargo transfer at Zing Fa, correct? Yes, it was from 4 to 5 a.m. according to our clocks. During that time, did any passengers leave or did any new ones board this flight? No. Not a single person got off on Zing or on Zing Fa. And what about the flight crew? People who were handling the cargo transfer might have temporarily gotten on or off, but eventually everyone, including Cammy and myself, came back on the plane. Basically, I assume no one left or got on since our initial takeoff. Interesting, I should keep that in mind. Yeah, and I answered his call. I can tell you Mr. Acme Hicks was there in his seat when we took off again at 5 a.m. Alright, then that puts the time of the murder between 5 and 6:15. Okay, now what time do you come down to the lounge, Mr. Edworth? Remember coming down almost as soon as we left the Republic of Zing Fa. Ah, you were here from whole time from 5, yes? You're the only one who could be the killer. Mr. Edworth, were you really here in this lounge the entire time from 5 a.m. onwards? Unfortunately, yes. Then how do we explain the footprints? Is that not obvious? This man waited for Mr. X here in this lounge, waited to kill him. Then he put the corpse in the elevator. That's when the turbulence happened. My eyewitness says we may have been mistaken. But at the time I saw Mr. Hicks enter the elevator on the second floor does not matter. The entire incident was concluded here in this lounge. Everything happened in this lounge. Is that what you really believe, Mr. LeBlanc? Please don't ban Phoenix. What? Do you have another idea? Well, rip Phoenix. But he will rise again, as he often does. Simply feel that there is something out of place in the scenario presented. Crime... Add this crime to a location other than this lounge. I mean, I guess there has to be something, right? Ah, okay, I see. Take that! The murder weapon. This little piggy bank is sold in the in-flight shop. It is sold there and only there, and is not displayed here in this lounge. How, then, did it find its way here? Don't you find that a teeny bit suspicious?
Such a trivia point. Only means you prepared it. Take it from the shop first before coming here. Doesn't prove you're innocent at all.
So no way to win this with this man. Hold it. If I may.
What is it?
You see, well, it's just as Mr. Edwards says.
Oh? How do you know so well?
Well, it's just that the piggy bank was there in the shop. I saw it with my own eyes. And when was this? It was maybe around 5:40 a.m. Isn't that just before the patch of turbulence? That's right.
You were in the shop just before the turbulence.
Yes, I was. Uh-oh. Come to think of it. Miss Teniro was there when I found the body. I believe you came out of that door. Yes, I did. And what was beyond that door? That's the flight attendant's room.
Then you were on the first floor.
Yes. How many floors are in this plane? I had to do something about the shop and in the flight attendant's room. So I went to the shop first, then the flight attendant's room. Are you saying you passed by me at some point? Yes, you seemed really into the issue of Sky Magazine you were reading at the time. I don't suppose you noticed me walking by. I vaguely recall someone walking by, but I didn't take notice of who it was. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Piggy Bank was definitely there in the shop when I went there.
Why'd you go to the shop in the first place?
Like I have like a whole group of minor detectives here. I went there for a work-related matter.
Work, you say?
Yes, the upkeep of the shop was also one of my responsibilities.
So who runs the shop? Like you can't, what? Why didn't you say anything until now? That's what I want to know.
In any case, I believe it's clear the shop needs to be investigated as well. Shall we head over there then? Like, hold it? Aren't you forgetting something, Mr. Rhoda? Or Miss Rhoda? Don't you need the captain's permission to check the shop? No, I haven't forgotten. But I have already asked him permission to search the entire plane. So I think we're alright. Huh? That's weird. What is? Well, I just talked to the captain, see? And he said that he didn't give you permission to do anything like that at all. I don't know how I, knew to ask him that. What's the meaning of this, Miss Teniro? Means she's lying. Go on, admit you are. You said you have permission to search all over, but you don't. Yet here you are. You, flight attendant, what are you trying to do? Pull sheep over us? Captain's calling for you, Miss Rhoda. Oh, but don't worry. I already got permission to search the shop from the captain. See, unlike you, I do things the right way. Miss Teniro, why would you do such a thing? Please excuse me. I want to know who the captain is. Looks like I get to be in charge now. Please go back to your seat, Mr. LeBlanc. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth. Can you please follow me? I'll be like your guide from now on. Something about Miss Teniro has piqued my curiosity. Right now, investigating in-flight shop is my top priority. I guess we just casually open this. No big deal. 50% off sale! What a sweet deal! Then again, they are puke green and I have no interest. Also, something just broke open. Quite a mess in here. You think? Guess I'll have to clean things up then. Hold on, you can't clean up a potential crime scene. Oh, thank goodness, I hate cleaning so much. Mustn't rush things here. Must remain cool, calm, and collected. Like a cucumber. Because this piggy bank was left at the crime scene. Logically, it must be involved somehow. There's a very good chance that the killer paid this place a visit. Someone died in an elevator. We hit some turbulence and Edgeworth fell unconscious. Somehow ended up with a wallet in his pocket. What are these? Oh, those are our company's completely original line of suitcases. Practically flying out the door. That's how popular they are. You should buy one and see how you like it. You won't regret it. Perhaps that's how things work on this flight, but in the real world you try, then buy. No way! But either way, it doesn't really matter. True, either way, why would anyone buy a suitcase after they boarded the plane? Anyway, see that? Just look at all the Mr. iFly heads painted on there. Cute company mascot, isn't he? They're painted on with a lot of care. Doesn't he look like he's about to jump out at you? It's certainly making something jump inside my stomach. Huh? I guess there's no fooling around your refined tastes. You look like you really wanted to get one. And I thought I was going to finally make my first sale, but you saw right through it. Glad that's done, though. Never try to make me give you a sales pitch ever again, okay? Well, I never showed any interest to begin with. It's really pretty horrible, isn't it? Wanna know something? Suitcase designed by Miss Rhoda. Miss Teniro designed this. Yeah, it was a company-wide contest. Well, it does have a very sharp design sense. Sharp like stinky sharp cheddar, maybe. Really have no idea why the bigwigs decided to go with it. It's so bleh. Miss Teniro designed this, did she? Definitely not what I would have expected. Whoa, jeez. Okay. You okay? I'm fine. Please watch yourself, Miss Meal. Letting a suitcase freely roll around. It's got to be a safety violation. Here, I'll put it back. Okay. Also wanted to comment on the flowers there, but I guess we'll go with the obvious thing first. Glass from this display case's door shattered all over the floor. Looks like there's nothing on display inside. Wait, actually, I think there is something. What's this? A mini captain's hat? Besides this place, there's a rule of lifesavers and life vests for sale. Sell a lot of those when there's some kind of accident or something. Some people buy them even when nothing's going on. How about it, Mr. Edgeworth? Care to buy one? Since the shop is one shopper away from being sued. Why would you have those on the... I guess the ground here I can't even look at. Stuffed toy, just like the one Miss Meal is holding on display here. Relatively cheap, which explains why they're displayed so haphazardly. How about it, Mr. Edgeworth? You know you want one too. They're great for when you. Why'd I walk to the right and then straight back to the left? They're great for when you're stressed. Why do I envision stuffed animal abuse when she says that? That's probably illegal. The crow and the wolf. You'll cringe just by looking at them. Mr. Edgeworth, you're getting pollen all over. Oh, excuse me. Must be something I can do here logically. Seem like it. A wide selection of souvenirs for sale in this display cases. You know what I'd suggest? Sorry, but I have no intention of buying souvenirs on this trip. How about you buy something for me then, as a present? Can't think of a single reason why I'd want to buy you anything. Whoa, harsh. Hello, Hirie. I think that's how you say that. Sorry if I said it wrong. But hey, how's it going? Hope you're having a good night. But I've had my eye on that pendant for such a long time. Try paying some attention to when I ask you something, and then we'll talk. Huh, I don't have a partner button. She's not my partner. I don't know much about the shop, but you can still ask me about whatever. Notice anything? What do you think about what's happening regarding this case? Oh, I don't know. I guess you think you're the killer, though, Mr. Edgeworth. I can assure you I'm here in the shop to prove just the opposite. Oh, she fell asleep. Yeah, but it was me who got you permission to look around. You know? Don't forget that, okay? Also, I'm really tired, so if I fall asleep... How am I supposed to thank you properly if you insist on falling asleep? Well, you know what would really show your thanks? See the item for sale over there? Sorry, but you're going to have to make do with my words of appreciation. Darn it. That's why her name is what? I don't get the reference. What's that? Are you going to give it to me? Oh, well, I'm not supposed to accept any presents. Unless they're, like, really worth something? This thing? Oh. Miss Rhoda said this piggy bank was in the shop, right? Don't you find her a teeny bit suspicious? I don't think I can say either way yet. There's not enough evidence to convince me she was lying about anything back there. Are you sure about that? I mean, yeah, you could be lying. What about the cell phone? Items on the ground, but I can't really look at them. I want to look at the items on the ground here, but not letting me do that. Can I go back over here? Guess not. Why is there a couch here? Let me walk over to the right and then walk back over to the left. No reason. Have I streamed any other AA games? I have actually streamed all 4 of the original trilogy and Apollo Justice. Kind of going in order, I guess. Speaking of Apollo Justice, I've been meaning to put up the videos. They're all on the YouTube, I just haven't put the thumbnails on them. Also, the descriptions are kind of lackluster. Yes, I said all 3 of the original trilogy. I started with all 4 because it was... whatever. I'm not going to explain my mentality to you people. You'll make fun of me either way. One sharp design. I said all 4 because I played 4 games, and then I said I switched it to all trilogy because I was like, I guess the first 3 were actually a trilogy and not just 4 games. Bleh. I'm sorry I interrupt myself a lot, okay? What am I going for here? I don't see anyone. Possibly? I'm afraid I don't remember you, though. But that's not too surprising, I suppose. I don't remember anything these days. But I apologize either way. Let's see. Murder weapon, teeny captain's hat. Can I, like, examine the teeny captain's hat? Yes, these days. I used to have a pretty good memory. I remember small things pretty well. It's just... I don't know. Things I don't really pay attention to don't get stuck in my head. So hey, I pay attention to you guys. Sail in this place, and they're all lined up just as a manner to scream "Buy me" to any passerby. What am I looking for here? Is there actually logic I'm missing? Can't step on the glass, that's dangerous. They broken during his murder. I swear I've seen one of these before. Have I seen one of these before? Oh, he's wearing it. The little mascot's wearing it. I can't present it to her. Does the captain's hat go on the... Does it go on the murder weapon? Hat probably used to be on the piggy bank's head. Let's give it a go and see. Ta-da! It looks beautiful. I believe this piggy bank was forcibly removed from this display case. Does it mean that the killer broke the glass to get at it? But why that specifically? Really? Don't tell me you don't know what things go where in the shop. Well, I don't. Miss Rhoda's in charge of this place. Come on, how should I know anything? Since a further inspection of this display case is needed. Okay, so can I... Can I now look at this? Okay, I can. I will not rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. So I doubt it's Miss Rhoda. She would just open the display case. Glass on this door is broken. Perhaps the killer who broke the door in order to take the piggy bank? But it's a bit odd that inside the case is devoid of any glass shard. That's true. She might have opened it, smashed it from the outside to give it the appearance of having been broken into. Plus, the glass broke rather cleanly. Ah! What is it? I touched the glass and it cut my finger. It hurts, Mr. Edgeworth, it hurts. Please tell me you can deal with such a minor cut on your own. Also, you should probably, like, disinfect that and whatnot. Deduce. What am I deducing? I guess the piggy bank was here? There's definitely something very unusual about this. About what? If the killer had broken into the glass to get Mr. I-Fly Bank, there should be shards of glass inside the case itself. Yeah, I see. I guess that'd be like that. However, there's not a single piece of glass inside the display case. Nope. No, there isn't. It means that the glass was broken from the inside out. Piggy bank must have fallen out over from the turbulence and right through the glass. Ah, that also makes sense. Most likely. You know, once we get through this one. Oh yeah, that's for sure. There's so much glass over the floor. I'm willing to bet this hat was knocked off its head during that time too. Eh? Oh, that's nice. Which leads me to believe that I misgumshoe a little bit, that the killer took Mr. I-Fly from here after the turbulence. That's great. You can relate to this girl right now. Take your power naps on your own time, Miss Meal, and listen to when I'm talking. But the murder occurred before the turbulence, which rules the piggy bank out as the murder weapon. You mean the bank's not the real murder weapon? It's a fake? At this point, it's a real possibility. What if when the killer went to take Mr. I-Fly, they broke the glass by accident? Basically, it's locked, so that's highly unlikely. Yeah, but there's one person who could have. Oh, and who would that be? Miss Rhoda, of course. I mean, she's the one in charge of this place, so she has the keys to everything. Miss Rhoda Teniro. A single piece of glass inside the display case. That would also mean that the piggy bank could not be the murder weapon. If only we had a doctor on here. Same man, the one portrayed with the statues around the elevator. Yeah, that's Paperweight, the founder of iFly Airlines, Mr. Hugo Fly. On the bottom of the shelf we have the cute one, the middle shelf we have the realistic one, and on the top shelf, that's the floral version. Floral? Are you sure about that? Let me guess, you just said the first thing that came to your mind, right? No. Looks like I hit the bullseye. What these books? iFly Airlines related books line on the shelf. History of iFly Airlines, the future of iFly Airlines, 7 wonders of iFly, flight on iFly Airlines. Working name, Yugo Airlines. I Heart Flying. Titles make it very clear that they won't be making top seller lists anytime soon. What could they possibly be about? I guess they could write one about a murder case now, I guess. Now what am I looking for? Yes, there's definitely something wrong here. What? What's with the sudden yelling? Tell me, Miss Meal, don't you think there's something strange about these suitcases? Oh, well, sure, they're totally strange, like the collar and the such. That's not what I'm talking about, though you are correct. Now, pay attention. You're scaring me, Mr. Edgeworth. Sorry, I get rather intense. I'm used to yelling, you know? These suitcases are lined up with a bit too prim and proper. Yeah, they look a bit uptight, don't they? Guess they take after the creator. Again, that's not what I meant. Seem very sour about that, though. Don't you find it unusual that these cases are the only things undisturbed by the turbulence? Never mind. Soon to find the answer by inspecting these suitcases myself. On a closer inspection, they are really quite hideous. Wow. I wonder how Miss Rhoda would have reacted if she heard what you just said. What's wrong? She makes a good point. It would be wise for me to watch what I say out loud. What's this? I spotted something that's not quite right. What's so unusual about this suitcase? I don't know what's unusual about the suitcase. This one has little guards on it. The other one doesn't.
Take that!
This is what's so odd. I don't think that's strange at all. Well, maybe not Saxon. I guess it must be the other one they want. I mean, it could also be the flowers, but they want something about the suitcase, right?
Take that!
So. I know, but I figured, you know, this thing already rolled by. Obviously, we know that one has no guards. Also, hello, OP. Hope you're having a good night. Welcome to Shrimp. Huh? As in, there are no stoppers in place on these. Without stoppers, one would think the turbulence would have sent it flying. And so it's very likely the suitcase was placed there after we hit the turbulence. Let's take a closer look at it, shall we? It's a very fancy looking room. I open it up. It would appear to be unlocked. Let's take a look at what's inside. It's a cloth. And it's soaked with blood. Ah, it's blood. Appears this suitcase is very strongly tied to our murder after all. Healing investigation. So explain this to me? Like, what does the suitcase have to do with the murder? I believe it's pretty safe to say the killer used the suitcase in some manner. Pleasure to move something, perhaps. But aren't you just talking about the cloth, then? That alone is too small. A larger item would need to move what I'm thinking of. The killer used the suitcase to transport is... the body? Maybe? Well, welcome home from work. Hope you had an okay time. Could it be the body? Nothing really other than that is like super heavy. Like you can just lift this up. It's not that heavy.
Take that!
Something that would fit inside a suitcase that is also covered in blood. Sounds like a dead body, doesn't it? Okay, good. Alright. Bloody cloth jotted down on my organizer. But in light of this, I'd say that Mr. Hicks was moved into the elevator from someplace else. It means the murder was committed in an entirely different location. So you're saying that after moving the body on the elevator, killer brought the suitcase here and just left it? Exactly. What is it? Nothing. Just that I was thinking about what Miss Rhoda said about coming here for something, you know, work-related. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm back now. I wanted to give you a bit more time, but I'm afraid I wasn't able to convince the captain. Very sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. The captain feels that he allowed you ample time. Says that he'd appreciate if you could wrap it up here and return to your seat. I understand his sentiments, however, if I'm not allowed to complete my investigation. Name of the game. Crime scene may very well become contaminated by the time we land. I must stop, then I insist I be allowed to oversee preservation of the two sites. Under your supervision, of course. If that's your only condition, I believe we can accommodate your wishes. Here to assist you in any way I can, Mr. Edward. Good hair physics. Sounds like fun. We can camp out and watch over everything together. I'll get some marshmallows and we'll get a fire going. Found proof that the real crime scene was not the lounge. I have enough evidence to prove myself to be innocent of any wrongdoing. I mean, the fingerprints alone probably prove that. Yes, regarding what Miss Meal reminded me of Miss Teniro. Can't allow my investigation to end here. Truth must come to light. To be continued. Right now! I'm not used to the new sound effects in this game. Like the save sound is weird. That guy's eating rice. That guy over there looks like he just got done with like a mile-long jog, or probably like several miles. And he's just like, whew. I must have been in the sky because I am winded. It's 1 p.m. now. Know that once we had landed, I'm supposed to let the local police take over. Next to Miss I wonder if we're going to see Gumshoe. I doubt we're in that area. Guess who that is? Is that the nerdy guy from... He was like the director, right? For Steel Samurai, that was it, I think. The Steel Samurai? I can't remember. Thanks to Miss Teniro and Miss Meal, I was able to preserve the crime scene, but I just can't shake it. I wasn't able to talk to Miss Teniro in private, so I'm left wondering just what was she up to? Why'd she do what she did? Must be a way for me to continue my investigation. Been expecting you, Miles Edgeworth. Franziska, I thought you were still in Germany. I go where I am needed, and wherever there are criminals to be caught. Her name is Franziska von Karma. She's my adopted, adorable sister. Well, technically I'm the adopted one, but you know, whatever. The daughter of my mentor, Manfred von Karma, she, like myself, is a prosecutor. Are you heading up on this case? It would be a bit of a relief if you are. Don't you try to flatter me, Miles Edgeworth. I'm placing you under arrest. What? It's quite frustrating, actually. I had hoped to exact my revenge on you in a different venue. Yeah, adoptive sister. But I have to take what I can get. I never thought I'd see the day when a disciple of the House of Von Karma would become a criminal. Have you no shame? Ah, what? It's all been a misunderstanding. I didn't kill the victim. Oh, okay. A misunderstanding. I heard all about the murder over the police radio from the Captain Michel himself. We waited for the victim to the first floor, then beat him to death. What? Something happened? What? You guys are eyeing. Ignoring a key murder? Well, Gumshoe's around here somewhere. Francisco, do you honestly believe I killed a man? I suppose I should reserve judgment until after I've investigated this myself. I can put you at arrest on hold until then. That's as it should be. Ha! I don't need a lecture on how to perform my duties from you of all people. Oh, okay. I thought you were commenting on something she said to Edward, but... Well, she did say that. About Edward is what I meant. Yeah, I think she kind of disowned him. I think now she's like, I am Von Karma. To be perfectly in every way, the fulfillment of that creed alone is all I strive for. Well, I have my own creed which I must fulfill, so why don't we solve this together? I have to get going. The crime scene awaits. Don't you dare leave town. Trust me, I had no intention to. Detective Gumshoe?
Yes, sir, pal. Hey, how's it going?
Too slow. Too slow, Scruffy.
Ow!
Listen up, I'm leaving you in charge of watching this man. Don't mess up, understand?
Mr. Edward, supposed to guard him, pal.
Simple yes or no, detective.
Ah, yes, sir. Understood, sir. Just leave it to me.
Miles Edgeworth, if you interfere with my investigation, I'll arrest you on the spot. Are we clear? Now then, if you'll excuse me, the 3D bow.
Good to see you again, Mr. Edwards, sir. Boy, am I glad to see you're okay.
Thank you, detective.
I believe in you, sir. You can lean on me. I got a lot to lean against. I'll get you through this.
Got to admit, I'm a bit curious as to what Francisca is up to. Maybe I should ask the good detective. Very well, in that case I have a few questions for you.
Yeah, what's up, pal?
Oh. So how's the initial investigation going?
We just shipped the body off to the coroner's office. We're taking statements now, sir.
Sounds like Francisca. She was always good at quick responses to a case. Pirate Kieran. Well, you can do what you want. Pirate's free.
Say she was a little too quick, sir.
Oh, how so?
I rushed on over as soon as I got word of the affair, sir. Somehow when I got here, Miss Von Karma was already here barking orders at everyone. It's kind of creepy. So she knew there'd be a murder or something. Come in advance to wait your flight's arrival.
That is sort of odd. She did show up rather quickly and out of the blue. Plus I still don't know why she's here in America. There must be some backstory to all of this.
Miss Von Karma just kind of popped up at the prosecutor's office about a week ago, sir. Something about chasing down leads related to a certain incident.
No details?
Kind of top secret, so she can't talk about it, even with me, sir.
Knowing her, the only type of talking she likes to do is with her whip. Also, I don't think she would ever trust you with sensitive information. Plus, I doubt the top secret part was what stopped her from talking to you, detective. Glad we're on the same page, although I wonder if her case has anything to do with mine. Airplane just says iFly. It's Apple's new side product, the iPlane.
Anyways, that's all I got, all the info I got, sir. Probably find more once we investigate.
Yes, it's high time to resume my investigation, starting with talking to the people involved in this case afresh.
I want to talk to you real quick.
Lunchland. Not bad. Guess it's gotten big enough to warrant its own branch shops.
I've always wanted to give their steak lunch a try.
Which one should I go with? I recommend our airport special. World Flags lunchboxes, only available for a limited time. We have a variety of lunchboxes made up of different countries' flags. Really want that one that badly, detective. Why don't you go ahead and buy one?
Is that okay, sir? Thanks. Alright, I'm really gonna get one. Here I go. Excuse me, miss. I'll take a Star-Spangled Banner lunchbox, please. American.
Hope he's aware that it's the most expensive one on the menu. Child seemed to be happily enjoying the sight of so many planes.
I'm all excited to see the many planes too, sir. Just look at the size of all these things.
Do you like planes too, mister? Balance between the main wings and the tail wings is really something, huh?
Ha!
seems that this child deserves his pleasure from a different aspect. Ah, but I also got a thing or two for the shape of the wings. Here, mister, you can stand next to me. So about that plainsman. Thank you, detective, leaving me out of this conversation. I was in first class with me. He's quite shaken up by the whole affair. Be pretty scared too if I got caught up in a murder investigation, sir. I did it. I made the whole flight. I'm not scared of turbulence anymore. Life proof vest I made is alive. It's now my prized possession. How could you just take that from the plane? It's okay, Mr. Edwards. It's got nothing to do with the murder, at least. Yeah, that's true, I guess. What else am I looking for? Can I talk to this guy? Looking from behind. I think I've seen this man somewhere before. Nom nom nom. Soviet Russia. World flag. Lunchbox eat you. Mr. Edward, we gotta get him some water. Found it. Feel a wave of creative powers coming on. It's over 9,000 lulz. Oh jeez. Next lead movie is gonna be the Steel Samurai, warrior of Neo Old Tokyo. Again. Versus the World Samurai Champion Earth. It's got a Roxor's so many Boxors. Yeah, good thing as a false alarm, right, Mr. Edworth? So the Steel Samurai is finally getting a movie. I'm glad that's what he took from that. Completely ignored me as usual. Huh. I can't blame him. Steel Samurai movie is pretty important. Whoa, who's the guy in the shades? So you must be the captain. Why, yes I am, and who might you be? I am the prodigy prosecutor Franziska von Kama, and I have a few questions for you. Don't you dare, Captain. Like, getting friendly with another woman? I'll never forgive you if you do. What are you talking about? I only have eyes for you, my dear Cammy. I wouldn't bet money on our dear Captain to be much of a reputable person. Sure you don't want to ask the Captain some questions, sir? He was in the cockpit the entire time. I doubt he would know anything of use. Anyway, I'd like to leave that type of witness to Franziska and her whip. Did they leave everything here? Weird. I mean, I guess it's fair, murder took place, but like even the guy's meal is still there and fully intact. Yeah, sure glad it's not me, pal. The food being there still is what I'm questioning. I figured it'd be eaten by then. It was like hours later, you know? Oh, hang on. They got here at 1 a.m. I guess they could have eaten before then again. If it's destination time, it'd be like 3 hours ahead. No, 9 hours ahead, so... Yeah, okay, whatever. Doesn't really matter. They are on a plane. The murder took place on a plane. Now, see here. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. I didn't do it. How long do you intend to hold me? It's impossible for me to be the criminal. I told you. Mr. LeBlanc. Oh, it's you. Tell this man to stop stopping me from going. Time is money. I don't have 1 second of wasteful time to spend. Oh, I can go back and forth. Cool. Sir, you can't go in there. I'm Miles Edgeworth. I'm the one of the prosecutors on this case. So please let me through. I think there can only be one prosecutor on a case. I'm very sorry, sir. No one is allowed in here without Miss Von Karma's express permission. But I'm on the case. Yes, I understand that, but I also have explicit instructions not to let you through from Miss Von Karma. Why would you do this to me, Franziska? Yeah, I mean, that's also true. At the same time, I could also see them being like, we need to get this one guy off the plane, because he is hyperventilating, and just, you know, keep an eye on him outside the plane. This plane does have pillars. It's very fancy. You know, we haven't seen the other guys, but they're probably around somewhere. You finished taking his statement yet? Yep, all done, sir. And I'm not concerned if you're done examining the cargo hold. I want my cargo back. What's your cargo? If it hits me a single scratch on my art, you will pay. Art? What sort of art?
Mr. LeBlanc's an art dealer, so he got a bunch of work, of artwork down the cargo hold, sir. Practically a mountain of them, large and small. Bunch of pots, bands, statues, paintings, I don't know. From folk costumes to stone statues. I sell all kinds of arts.
Oak costume. Speaking of which, Mr. LeBlanc's hat kind of looks like that other piece of cloth.
Guess we just show it to him.
Can you please take a look at this for me?
Huh? Oh, Borginian cloth.
As I suspected, your hat is made of the same material, I suppose.
Yeah, of course. Fabric's so important, orders come from all over the seas for more.
They are both from Morginia, so... Then is the cargo you were talking about earlier?
No. My cargo is much more gigantic. You, detective. When can I have my cargo back? You can get your cargo back when we're done investigating, pal. Stubbornness of you police. No good. No good that attendant refuses to exit the attendance room, too.
That attendant? I wonder if he's talking about Miss Teniro. What do you mean by that attendant, Mr. LeBlanc?
And she was taken to the attendance room for her interview. And they still have not come out. That makes no sign of coming out either. I was finished with my own interview much quicker than her.
Why is Miss Teniro's interview the one that's taking so much time? And now I am here. Miles Edgeworth, you were given free rein to examine the plane, weren't you? Yes, I was able to obtain cooperation of the flight attendants. Speaking of attendants, I'd like to speak with Miss Teniro. Wonder if you might grant me permission to enter the flight attendant's room. Before I do, you still have to clear up a few issues surrounding your own circumstances. I understand. You may have tricked those attendants with your sophisticated talking, but those foolish fools did not know how to deal with your foolish ways. You cannot pull the wool over my eyes, Miles Edgeworth. Was this her new thing, or is this... No, it seems like a normal one. Seeing the crime was here and very loud, the body was discovered. From the time the victim was seen calling an attendant until his body was found. Of course, you know, they're all assuming that he came to the lounge. The only person in the lounge the entire time was you, Miles Edgeworth. Unexplicitly makes you the likeliest suspect. We've already proven that it wasn't me. The likeliest suspect, Franziska. Do you have a problem with that? No, but it's not like you to use such vague wording. You're usually a bit more... absolute. I'm simply trying to watch out for you. Was my kindness too hard for you to comprehend? Thank you, but your leniency is unnecessary, for I will prove my innocence soon enough. Want to continue my investigation, I'll have to break her line of logic fast. It is very sweet how she's like, I'm being kind, okay?
Hold it!
So tell me, Franziska, do you know all there is to know about the crime scene? I know what I need to know in order to arrest you. And nothing more? Are you saying there are more that I need to know?
Yeah, why'd you whip me, sir?
Sorry, Scruffy, my hand must have slipped. It would appear that Franziska doesn't have all the facts of this case yet.
Man, why do I gotta put up with all this, pal? Wish I'd bought that lunch after all.
What do you mean by scene? Please stop pretending like you don't know. It's insulting. Obviously, I'm talking about how Mr. Hick was seen calling for an attendant at 5 a.m. Then, from the time after the call until the body was found.
Yeah, like why me, pal? What did I do? I'm just standing here.
Well, it's true that I was in the lounge the whole time. Fact alone does not make me the criminal. Objection! We'll see about that at the conclusion of this investigation. There's one thing even you must admit at the time.
Hold it!
Under the circumstances, I suppose I can agree that I am the most likely suspect.
But I believe in you, sir. I don't think you did it. Miss Von Garman's gotta believe that too, right? I mean, you two are like siblings. Ow, why? That's down the truth.
Quiet, Scruffy. Even if we were related by blood, that's no guarantee that he's not a criminal. That's fair. Francisca, I demand to see some proof that you're not the guilty party. Likely a suspect, huh? What a roundabout euphemism. Appear that she doesn't yet know about the new evidence that we acquired and where we acquired it. Take care of the gaps in her logic one hole at a time. Press this last one over. Don't you think you're being a bit too rash by simply declaring me the culprit? I like my affairs to be simple and perfect. Show you the meaning of both when I finish this whole thing in 3 minutes. Hey, say it like you're cooking a pack of instant noodles. Hey, why? I won't allow even 3 seconds of useless testimony to be uttered in my presence. See, she hasn't changed a bit. But I won't allow her to send me to prison so easily. I don't want to see Karma, even though he's probably dead by now. Did I press this one?
Hold it!
So tell me, Francisca. Okay. Now, why'd you do this again, pal? Don't do things just to get me hit. Okay, let's see. I guess I pressed this one? I need to go check something really quick. Sorry about this, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry for chair stream. The light was on. I was like, wait, did I leave the light on accidentally? But no, it wasn't me. Because the light in the dining room out there is not supposed to be on. Kind of bothers people. Wow. I should be insulted that I'm, not as good as a chair, but I'm just so proud of my chair to be such a good host to you guys while I'm gone. It's like, even when I'm gone, the stream's still okay. I couldn't keep a straight face for that one. Anyways. In the crime. So do I point out that it was transport the body, I guess? Yeah, why not? Objection! It's a good chair. It appears you did not have all your information you needed after all. And what does that mean? I found a nice piece of evidence just before I was forced to stop investigating. A piece that proves that the body was moved from the different location. I mean, I don't know why I'm really surprised by this, but the killer used the suitcases to move the victim's body, meaning that the real scene of the crime is not in this lounge at all. And now who's the one rashly jumping to conclusion? Excuse me? All you did was find this piece of cloth inside the suitcase. Doesn't prove that the body was moved. Could be that the killer simply chose that suitcase as a good place to hide the cloth. I am not the chairman of the stream, no. I expected you to come to that conclusion. It would seem I can't escape that easily. You would know better than that. Avant Karma is perfect in every way. Ah, but did you know that the killer definitely wheeled the suitcase around at some point? As if there is proof of that. Where's the proof that the suitcase was moved around?
Take that!
Spilled grape juice in front of the elevator. Yes, and I'd like to draw your attention to this area here.
Take that!
This mark here, wouldn't you say it looks suspiciously like tracks from two wheels? I suppose. Further, there's also grape juice on the residue of the wheels of the suitcase. There is? That was news to me. I mean, it makes sense that there is, but I didn't check that. This means that the suitcase containing the victim's body definitely passed through here. And I suppose this means that the killer did move the victim's body from somewhere else. I'm glad you've come to your senses. Objection! It's not so fast. Still doesn't prove you're in the clear. Not by a long shot. You prepared yourself and acquired a piggy bank before the plane hit that turbulence. Then you waited the victim in the lounge where you beat him to death. Then while you were in the elevator with the victim's body stuffed into the suitcase, the plane hit that patch of turbulence and out flew the body from within the suitcase. With no way out, you hastily put the suitcase back where you'd taken it from. Pretended to be the discoverer of the body. It makes a lot of no sense. Not a bad bit of logic for something you thought of on the fly. Just what are you insinuating? And I will show you exactly how flawed your logic is. And how strong of a face you put on, not even you can hide your fears from me. I'll expose the flaws in your logic in one fell swoop. Couldn't I just like say like, hey, this was taken out? Like, I don't know what to say actually. Like right away, it's like the fact that you took this piece of evidence into account into your testimony is to be commended. Your legal prowess is certainly something to be feared. Evidence and logic, essential tools that those who would stand in the courtroom must learn to master, unless your name is Phoenix Wright. But what if there was a fake piece of evidence thrown into the mix? A fake? This Mr. I-Fly piggy bank is such a fake. It is not the real murder weapon. What? The timing of when the bank was taken from the shop is important. Taken after the turbulence had occurred. What about the blood in the bank? What do you make of that? I assume it was added after the murder when the killer fabricated this weapon. Looking at it this way, the killer basically did 3 things after the turbulence. After exiting the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase to the shop and left it there. Then the killer proceeded to pick up the bank from the floor and took it to fabricate a murder weapon by hitting the victim on the head. Hopefully they were wearing gloves. Finally, the victim's wallet was planted on my personage. In my pocket, to be precise. Everything was done so that it would be framed for the murder of Mr. Ackby Hicks. I cannot talk. You there. Yes, ma'am. Other than this piggy bank, was anything else resembling a murder weapon found? We didn't find anything in this lounge or the shop that could be used as one, ma'am. Notice the items that could be used were broken during the turbulence. And the remaining items all tested negative for any trace of blood. I see. Well, Miles Edgeworth, appears your stall tactics are at an end. That's possible to just hidden somewhere, sir. Ow, why? If the criminal had wanted to hide the weapon in a safer place, I think the weapon would have been hidden in the same place as the bloody cloth. Exactly what I was thinking. Because the cloth was hidden inside the suitcase, it signaled me the killer had not prepared a more secure place to hide the evidence. Which means that the real murder weapon is either still on the murderer's personage, or is still at the real crime scene. Objection! There's one more possibility. Here they're both putting their heads together now, just... And that would be that the piggy bank is in fact the real weapon. But didn't we just... Hold it! Let me finish. The killer took the bank out from the display case before the turbulence by opening the lock on the display case door. And it was at that time the glass pane in the door was broken. I say it's a perfectly reasonable line of reasoning, wouldn't you? Let's see what it means the killer had the key onto the display case. Franziska, the person you're talking about. Not so fast, I'm not finished. The person I'm talking about also committed another sin. She tricked the captain, and granted you permission to conduct your investigation. Yes, it is the sin of lying. Speaking of which, I recall you also wished to speak with her. Yes. Very well, permission granted, but only if I can sit in on your interrogation. Do we understand each other? I have no intention of interrogating her. And you are welcome to accompany if you so wish. Miss Teniro is in the flight attendant's room. Let's move. Alright, let's go. Personage? This is pretty messy, huh? Except for the top part, that's pretty organized. I'm assuming that's Miss Rhoda's thing. So you're the one that poked around inside this plane without the captain's permission. Deviating from the flight attendant's manual is very unbecoming, you know. What were you hoping to accomplish by doing that? Hi. Hey. Miss Teniro. Ah, Mr. Edgeworth, you're here too? Can you please help us and shed some light on why you did what you did? Okay. Aw, lamentable music here. What a bomb. What all this junk inside these boxes? There's no rhyme or reason to any of it. That's our lost and found, Mr. Edgeworth. Gold crowns and swords and necklaces. It's like a treasure trove in here, sir. The fact that these were left on the plane implies they were carried onto it to begin with? Something tells me it's time iFly sends metal detectors out for repairs. So these are the tenant's lockers, huh? Hurry up and examine them, sir. Why must men always be so rude? Besides, who exactly gave you permission to search through the attendant's lockers? Wait, detective. It would be uncouth of us to look into a woman's locker without permission. Yeah, I guess so. Plus, I feel murderous draft. I can sense the web not far behind. Oh no, he's getting his sixth sense for this kind of thing. Oh jeez, she looks pretty sad. Why'd you lie about receiving the captain's permission like that? Because I didn't think I would be able to get his permission. What do you mean? Captain, he only has ears for Cammy. I spoke with the captain earlier myself. Definitely seems to be rather taken with Miss Meal. Yes, and on top of that, I had mistakenly accused Mr. Edgeworth of being the killer. I wanted to make amends. In that case, please allow me to thank you for what you did. Thanks to you, I was able to clear myself of all charges. Really? You were able to prove your innocence? Oh, thank goodness. Miss Teniro, is it? There's one more thing I'd like to ask you. First off, I never confirmed you were off the case, but whatever. You were in the in-flight shop just before the turbulence, weren't you? Please answer honestly. Yes, I was. And why were you there? Well, Why the sudden hesitation? Francisca seems to have struck a nerve. Teniro killed Professor Dumbledore. Darn it, spoilers. All I did was go check the shop like I always do. You're saying it was for work, then? Yes, I'm in charge of the shop, so I had to keep an eye on it. Don't have any reason to go there otherwise. After you visit the shop, you paid a visit to this room, correct? Yes, I came back to freshen up and adjust my makeup. With this mirror that doesn't exist. Sorry to tell, there's not much else to tell. Luke Skywalker killed Ganondorf? Pfft, yeah, right. Ganondorf can't be killed by normal means. Miss Teniro claims to have no reason other than duty to go to the shop. But is that all there is to it? Maybe I should ask her about one thing. You could please take a look at this for me, Miss Teniro. Oh, that suitcase. Yes, about the suitcase. You were the one who designed it, correct? I think I figured something else about it. The suitcase is the reason you went to the shop, isn't it? Nothing you won't find out eventually, is there? Won't you please tell me more about this suitcase? Yes, well, I was interested in seeing how the suitcases I had designed were selling. I know as a service professional I'm not supposed to care. But I really wanted to know. I was glad to see it was the last one there. Oh-ho. The last one there. So you're saying, Miss Teniro, the suitcase in question was the last one? Yes, they're just so popular, they're practically flying off the shelves. That's not exactly the impression I got. One in the shop is most definitely the last one. Well, we're currently looking at that suitcase. Really? I guess we sold out of them. Thank you very much for taking the last one. I didn't say anything about buying it. Then say you'll buy it. I'm sorry, I can't. But why not? I think it'd go great with your complexion, Mr. Edgeworth. It really suits you. I guarantee you personally as a service professional. Well, that is, how should I put this? It's hideous. What?
Maybe that was a bit too direct. Moving on. My issue with the suitcases in the design is the number of them remaining.
Remaining? There were 2 suitcases in the in-flight shop when I investigated it. 2? But that's impossible. Sure, there was only 1. Looks like her story has generated quite a contradiction. When I left the shop, I'm positive there's only 1 suitcase left.
Something is amiss here. What could be the meaning of the inconsistency? By the way, Miss Teniro, what is one of those suitcases doing here? Thought you said there was only 1 left.
That one is, fine. I've used it for a very long time now.
Use it for a very long time? I think not. Miss Teniro, I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't lie to me.
Excuse me?
I don't believe it for even 1 second that you use this for a very long time. So has the price tag on it. I mean, some people don't take price tags off anything, but... Tell me, Miss Teniro, is it also your habit to keep the price tag pristine on your suitcase?
What's the meaning of this? Why would you lie about that suitcase?
Despite having faith in her design sense, sales numbers made her cry bitter tears. Truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. Miss Teniro, I think I understand. I know what you were trying to hide. Now then, the suitcase was originally in... the in-flight shop. Seeing as how the price tag is still on the suitcase, one can only assume it was out on the floor and sale of the shop. The person who bought the suitcase was... Take that. It was you, wasn't it, Miss Teniro? I hate to say this, but the suitcase that you designed, it hasn't sold very well, has it? You saw how poorly this design you poured your heart into was selling, and were deeply hurt. That's why you wanted to make it look like it was selling by buying it yourself. Isn't that right?
The reason you went to the shop and came back here was... I'm sorry. All I really have is my job. I was overjoyed when my design was chosen. Thought that maybe I'd finally accomplished something.
But the suitcases didn't sell.
It's because of the design, isn't it? All because it's, as you put it, hideous.
I did say that rather bluntly. Can't say they chose a great place in which to sell them, either.
You weren't selling them a single one. They were just sitting there collecting dust. Felt bad seeing them there, day in, day out. Decided to buy one for every flight I worked.
Buy one for every time you work the flight.
I see. So in order to keep the resolution, you went and bought one today as well. Yes, here's my receipt for that purchase.
How do you buy something if you're the only one working the shops? Like, is that automated? Pretty sure you can just walk out with that. See, it was very clearly time-stamped at 5:40 a.m.
Truth is, there's still a bunch of them left unsold. They're planning to scrap the remaining ones at the end of this flight.
Miss Teniro, where are these other suitcases?
They should all be down in the cargo hold. The suitcase killer used
could very well have come from the cargo hold. I mean, I guess. I feel like most people would I don't feel like most people here would actually do that, though.
Don't you think the killer used one of my suitcases too?
Yes, I do. The killer used one of your beloved suitcases to move the victim's body. I'm not saying I would do that. I just don't really think a lot of people wouldn't do that. Seems like a very bad business plan. I know. Like I said, I'm not sure. I'm not saying I would do that, but I can definitely see people doing that.
Suitcases are meant to be faithful partners to our passengers on their trips. That's all I ever wished for them to be.
Miss Teniro, is there any other way to get to the cargo hold other than the elevator?
The only way through is just through that door there.
What about security?
That door has no special lock installed because to enter this room, you need a special key card that only crew members have access to.
Which means that the culprit is someone who can enter this room, eliminating the passengers and leaving only crew members as potential suspects.
Can't believe it.
Yes, Francisca? Going on these wild goose chases, you're a disgrace to the Von Kama name. And what do you mean by that? Also, that's not my name anyways.
The suitcase came from the cargo hold. The fact that alone tells me the whole story.
Which is why I said the culprit must be a crew member who used the key card.
Miles Edgeworth, you're proposing that the killer rode the elevator from the cargo hold, correct?
Yes, that's the only realistic possibility.
The other attendant, Miss Meal. I asked her earlier and she had this to say.
Francisca got information on Miss Meal.
In order to make the elevator go down to the cargo hold, a different key card is required.
A different one?
Yes, and the only person who holds that particular card is you, Miss Rhoda Teniro. Only you. Huh? What? Is this true, Miss Teniro? Yes, I keep that key card in my locker at all times. Could you please show us that card right now? Yes, hold on. It's not gonna be there. I don't believe it. I'm not saying... They would be caught, but that wouldn't stop them. I'm just saying it's a really weird thing to have like this big in-flight store and not have one person just sitting there watching everything. It would. People are dumb, Sivia, okay? You'd be... If... I didn't say just a worker, just anybody could just walk in there. And, you know, they probably have little trinkets that you could easily just pocket. And then they just walk off, do their business. Like, yeah, you'll have records of that person, but have like 15 people you'd have to look at. There is a gate, but I guess when it's open. I wouldn't really imply that it was always closed. What's wrong? The key card, it's gone. Aha, very clever. Pretending that your card was stolen when in fact you're just trying to hide it from us. You really thought this through. Wait, it's not like that. You can tell us all about what it's like down at the station. Officer, arrest this woman. Yes, ma'am. I was falling asleep. I did say anyone, but I don't know. Sorry for not being being more specific. Mr. Edworth.
Sorry, I can't help you.
What's wrong? There's disbelief written all over your face.
Francisca, I know that you lead the investigator on this case.
However, hold it. Don't even think about wasting any more of my time. You know the rules as well as I do. Evidence speaks louder than words. Even if this isn't a courtroom, that basic tenet still applies.
I was talking about anyone in general, not anyone that works at the store. Now, I asked how they stop anyone from just going in there. Not just anyone who is working there.
I intend to investigate the cargo hold now. What will you do, Miles Edworth?
I intend to do likewise.
To be continued. Right now.
Pretty sure I just said anyone, but you know how I blunder with my words. Hey, pal, I guess I'm over here too. Sorry for standing in front of you, Edworth, sir. Wow, so this is the cargo hold, huh? I'm gonna run down here like a little kid. Oh no, I fell down. So big. Hey, what? Why is there a guard down here already? This plane's a special model. Has both super large cargo hold and ultra luxurious first class seating.
This is the real scene of the murder.
Certainly is a high probability of that, which is why we're here, correct? Okay, let's get investigating, sir. There's definitely a thing missing here. Holy suitcases, Mr. Edworth. It's like an all-you-can-use suitcase fair. I mean, I guess? Now, typically when I say anyone, I mean literally anyone, not just anyone. I would specify anyone working. And I apologize if I did accidentally, but that's not what I meant. These must be the leftover ones they couldn't sell. Ones the company's planning to dispose of after this flight is over. Paint job's really cool, don't you think? Practically screams artsy. Oh, and why not purchase one then? I'm sure it'll bring you much happiness. You think so? Maybe I still... Let's see here. $1,200! Think I'll pass, pal. Mr. Teniro wonders why they don't sell. You only need 2 jobs. You need 2 jobs just to buy one. That's a... Definitely looks like one is missing. What is this brittle substance I'm stepping on? A bunch of glass fragments? Must be from the glasses. Bed sheets. Keeping track of this many pieces of cargo must be very taxing.
taxing on the cargo crew. Sure brings back memories when I worked but here as a part-time mover, sir. By the look in his eyes, he's waiting me for to ask about the rest of his story. But no matter how he pours on the puppy eyes, I have no intention of doing so. I'm sure Edgeworth could probably afford two. Hey, what's with the suitcase, pal?
Well, the victim checked in, sir.
The suitcase belonged to Mr. Hicks. I don't think he'd mind if we took a closer look. Nothing out of the ordinary in here, sir. Got, toothbrushes, a change of clothes. Wait, a file? And the photo of Miss Von Carmen is, sir. Looks like a profile in Francisca. There might be bed sheets in that box. There's gonna be another body in there. Why would Mr. Hicks have a file on her? I mean, can you blame him? She's best girl. Well, second best girl. Maya sadly has her beat still. All sorts of boxes are piled up here. One says flammable, and this one says pharmaceuticals. This one says for exorcism use only. What kind of operation is airline running? Actually, that probably... Wait, it says goes to Wright & Co. Check the elevator. I just love pushing the buttons on elevators and crosswalk signs. Hey, you should give it a try, sir. Go on, push it. Maya doesn't have a whip, but she has the spirit. And cheeseburgers. Sometimes ramen, depending on your language. Elevator is currently stopped on the first floor, detective. It can't move. Oh yeah, guess nothing happened if you pushed it now, huh? Mia's kinda gone, sadly. So... Trucy's okay. I like her. But... she's kinda... I guess she doesn't exist, but I guess she'd be like 7 right now? With the door, the attendant's room, and the elevator control panels require a key card, which makes it impossible for a passenger to come down here. You arrived at the scene of the crime before Detective Gumshoe, correct? And then you immediately began to direct the investigation. It seems to me that you were already here at this airport for something besides this murder. Yes, I was. I've been following a very large involved government-level international crime. That's much too large for one person to take on alone. So I decided that I should form a joint investigation with the Interpol. Oh, cool. Is she actually German? I thought she just went for training. It's a top secret operation, so I can't really tell you any more than I already have. Anyway, suitcase report. I'm sorry for not being more specific. Anyways. Something much more urgent we should be dealing with right now. Don't waste my time or yours. Suitcase. Okay, anything else I need to... Maybe the phone. Was she? I thought she was just trained in Germany. Might be a translation issue. I think we can safely conclude that these fragments are from a pair of glasses. The victim was wearing a pair of broken glasses. Exactly what I was thinking. That's exactly what I just said. I'm sure that the shards would match up perfectly with the remnants of his glasses lens. Ergo, the victim was here, just as I suspected. So you're saying the real scene of the crime was here, sir? Isn't that what I've been saying for a while now? Oh, is it? I didn't know that. I wasn't really paying attention. Perhaps it's a bit early to draw that conclusion. However, I believe that the probability has just skyrocketed considerably. All's up to just find the murder weapon. Logic. Now, why would Mr. Hicks have documents profiling Francisca? Oh, I know, but he's a big fan of Miss Von Karma, sir. Francisca said she had to come to this airport as part of an Interpol investigation. Oh, maybe Mr. Hicks had heard she was coming here and he followed her. Detective, I think it's more likely that Mr. Hicks was, in actuality, an Interpol agent Hicks. I think we'd have a file on that. I think Francisca has some explaining to do. What do you want now? Well, there definitely was someone who was, like, straight up just, like, trained in Germany. Maybe that was Gavin? Came to this airport to rendezvous with the victim, didn't you? Nonsense! What are you talking about? We found a profile detailing information about you in the victim's luggage. Suppose it was prepared to him so he could recognize you when he landed. Which makes him not Mr. Hicks, but rather Interpol Agent Hicks, isn't that correct? I should have known you'd figure it out, Miles. Aw, come up by a first name, that's cute. But it looks like they got to him first. So he really did come here to receive an Interpol agent then. Yes. Agent Hicks was on the trail of a very large international smuggling ring. Oh. He went undercover to investigate his crime. It was I who put him on this case. I was supposed to receive a call from him on his cell phone once we had landed. I never expected to receive a call about his murder instead. I think now we have pretty definite evidence that Agent Hicks came down here to the cargo hold. But what was he doing down here, sir? Nothing here but luggage. Ah, I get it. Maybe he forgot something in his suitcase, came down to get it. Ah, why? Agent Hicks came here for a work-related reason, of that I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure he was due to investigate the smuggling operation he was observing. Francisca, do you know exactly how he intended to pursue this investigation? No, unfortunately I was going to find out after he'd landed. I see. Raises another question. No one passenger can access the cargo hold on their own. Agent Hicks must have identified himself to a member of the crew and entered the cargo hold of that person who let him in. Yes, and then he was murdered here. Glass fragments here in his broken glasses are a testament to that, and then... The killer put Agent Hicks in one of the spare suitcases and they entered the elevator, but while they were riding it up, the plane hit that patch of turbulence. Because of the intense shaking, the suitcase popped open and Agent Hicks' body flew out. At the same time, his wallet fell out of his pocket, spilling its contents everywhere. Which explains why there was money scattered all over the elevator floor. Don't loot the pearl, please. I think it's pretty easy to say who the culprit is at this stage. What? Really, sir? I know what you're thinking, Miles Edgeworth. But the killer can... Listen, guys. Don't be Larry. Just don't be Larry. Killer can be none other than Miss Rhoda Tenero. I'm pretty sure it's Cammy at this point. It was a crew member, any one of them could have shown Agent Hicks to the cargo hold, but the point to keep in mind is the keycard allows the elevator to come down here. The only person with such a high level access is Miss Rhoda Tenero. Say it's pretty decisive piece of information, wouldn't you? I know what she's trying to say, but I'm not certain it's as simple as that. Larry's the worst.
Hold it!
I like saying that about characters, but he's not like the worst person. He's just not a very good one. Might be true, but then it could be anyone, including Miss Meal or even the captain. Don't be a fool. Don't be a foolish fool. A plane without a pilot in the cockpit is like a corpse without a rider. Crop in hand, much like Scruffy over there. Now, why'd you hit me, sir? Don't even have a horse. Can't disagree with her on that. Technical Gumshoe does always need a guiding hand. Very well, then what about the other flight attendant, Miss Meal? I thought you might ask about her. Squeeze shoulder.
Hold it!
But it's highly likely the keycard was stolen from Miss Tenero. It's highly likely? Is that possibility the best you can come up with? Call yourself a disciple of my father, who was arrested, I guess. Yes, well, while I don't have any evidence, Be quiet, you're a disgrace. There's more evidence pointing to Miss Rhoda Teniro than you know. It's not just the keycard that gives her away. Are you talking about the murder weapon, the Mr. iFly piggy bank? Yes, she also was the only person with the key to open that display case.
Hold it. Objection.
Objection! Stop right there, Miles Edgeworth. You don't have any proof that this is just a red herring. You must keep insisting that it's fake. Then what is the real murder weapon and where did it go? Speechless, I see. That's not a surprise. After all, you know we searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed. Must be a way. Must be something that can help me rule out the piggy bank as the murder weapon. What should be examined further to help us ascertain the authenticity of the weapon? I guess the body? But we don't have the body. No, hang on, let me think. Well, actually, the crime scene also be a note. Like, he was hit in the back of the head. You wouldn't really get good leverage. On the back of his head. Blood on one of the corners. Could this piggy bank be the murder weapon? Look at this tiny hat. Hat on its head was found inside a display case in the in-flight shop. I wonder if the fact has any bearing on this case. I guess the piggy bank, I don't know. Examine the bank itself once more to determine if it's a real murder weapon. If this is the real murder weapon, it should be damaged or perhaps have a dent on it somewhere. We've looked into that already, and there's no sign of anything on it. But we can't discount it as a murder weapon on that one fact alone. Piggy bank is, after all, made of a stronger material than human flesh. Okay, so that's wrong. Oh. Try another one. What should be examined? Crime scene or the body? Body? I think you were too quick to jump to your conclusions. Oh, was I? Yes, we don't even have the autopsy results yet. How can you not say that you made a snap judgment when you haven't yet to see if the wound on Agent Hicks' head is consistent with the murder weapon? Scruffy. Yes, sir. I was not dozing off, I swear. Contact the medical examiner's office at once. Wish to hear the results of Agent Hicks' autopsy. Okay, so I was right. We don't have the body, but that's not really a factor. Yes, sir. Let's go teleport out of here. Oh, never mind. I'm going to actually walk. Forgot we have that power now. You know, 3D, 3 dimensions and all that. Got a big problem, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. And, Francisca, sir. Body's gone missing. Someone stole it. What is it, detective? They're still doing the autopsy. Said they already know this one thing for sure. Report, now. Doc said it's all one giant bruise from beating from his shoulder down to his mid-back. Oh, jeez. Got beat down from his shoulder down to his mid-back. So it broke his spine? From the victim's shoulder to the mid-back. He was beaten over such a wide area? I'd say maybe it's the killer had a grudge against Agent Hicks. No, he could probably get hit with the briefcase, or the suitcase. One just as sad, the killer went all out and hit him multiple times, sir. Oh, jeez. Scruffy, what is this had a grudge against Agent Hicks supposed to mean? Well, that is, Was the wound on the victim's head consistent with the murder weapon, detective? Oh, they said they're still looking into that, sir. You're completely useless. Now, why? I didn't do anything. I just did what you told me to do. Sorry, I told you already. You can't go down there. And you remove yourself from my way. What is all that racket? Figured it'd be this guy. The block.
My luggage, my cargo. They're mine and I demand you return them to me.
We're still investigating the cargo hold. Please understand and have a little patience. Oh, there's no choice. Finally. Thinking, oh, hey, wait, what are you?
You left me no choice but to use strong force.
You won't get past me. Oh. Wait, that's it. This is what the whole thing has been about. Logic. Time is slowing down. Whoa. Logic.
Doc said one giant bruise from a beam from his shoulder down to his mid-back.
He fell from the stairs?
Ow!
Oh, whoops. I see a clear connection between these two pieces of information. I'm apparently really bad. Allegedly, the killer struck the victim many times over, which is why there is extensive bruising over such a wide area. But really, the correct conclusion to draw from the evidence, bruise from his shoulder down to the middle of his back is one continuous mark, more suggestive of a single blow to the back. If that's the case, then the piggyback. Piggyback? That's not just me, right? That's an actual typo. The piggyback is much too small to have caused that. Therefore, the murder weapon must be for something far bigger. You're looking for a rather large weapon, you think it'd stick out. But so far, we haven't found anything that resembles a weapon of any sort. Perhaps, just perhaps, it's something we all overlooked from the very beginning. Because normally it's too impossibly big to be taken into consideration. Also, we should probably check on that guy. He's probably very hurt.
What was that all about? Do I jump his way down here?
Francisca! What? What do you want? I'm very surprised. I found it, Francisca. I found the real murder weapon. You did?
He really jumped.
We didn't realize it until now, but the answer has been right in front of us this whole time.
He might be hurt. We should go check on him, sirs.
No, something way more pressing right now. There's that pompous attitude of yours again. Should learn to drop that habit. This coming from a prosecutor with a habit of whipping everyone she comes across. Anyway, if you really are a prosecutor, then you'll back yourself up with evidence.
You two aren't listening at all, are you?
The typo at the... it was something with court. Something with court. Courtroom or something. They apparently fixed it in the remake that's happening, or has happened. Show the real murder weapon.
Was that Apollo Justice?
Count, that was it, yeah. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? It was like this first or second case. Do I have a thing that says real murder weapon? I don't have any evidence to show you. Foolish reasoning for a foolish fool from a foolishly foolish fool meant to fool me. What do you mean by I don't have any evidence to show? Perhaps I should have phrased it as that which caused Agent Hicks' death is incorporeal. Forgive me if I do believe I figured out what was the real cause of death. Gravity! Freefall. The true murderer. Victim fell from a great height and subsequently died as a result. In other words, the real cause of death was free falling to the ground. He fell to his death. Yes, this is the only plausible possibility. The victim has extensive bruising on the back of his head and his back. The only rational explanation for these injuries is that he fell to his death. But the murder happened inside this plane. Maybe it was an accident. He just fell because of turbulence. But no, he died before the turbulence, so it'd have to be an intentional murder. Are you claiming that there was some place in this plane from which he could have fallen from? As I said earlier, the answer has been right in front of us this whole time. You can't mean... Yes, I do. The victim fell from the top of the stairs in this very cargo hold. What? Then we gotta go save that guy. We have a second death on our hands, sirs. Hey you, tell me you aren't dead, pal. Quiet, why are you screaming? He's alive. And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. It's not possible that Agent Hicks fell over the railing to his death. That man is living proof of that. I suppose it's true that it's not possible, given the current circumstances. The current circumstances? What? Suppose that the large piece of cargo wasn't there at the time. What would have happened then? It would have been a Borginian pancake for sure, pal. Was that man over there wouldn't still be breathing. The reality is the cargo box is there. There's no point in entertaining your wild hypothetical scenarios. It may be there now. There's no proof it wasn't always there. As if there could have been a window of time when the giant box was not there. Ah, but there was. What? Sure, it is possible the box was not always there when it is now. Which one is it? Okay. You fueled the Republic of Xingfa? Yes, this flight had a short layover in Xingfa in order to refuel. That wasn't the only reason for the layover. We also transferred some cargo. What with the box in question had only just transferred the plane at that time. To further prove my point, let's take a look at what's next to the box in question. Ah, it's labeled Xingfa Express. Correct. I'm surprised you could read that. Meaning it was loaded onto the plane of Xingfa. Or at Xingfa. Now then, what if the box in question had also loaded at the same time? It would mean that the box was not here in the cargo hold during the Europe-Xingfa leg of the flight, making a clear drop from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death entirely possible. Ah, but your theory is still very far-fetched. It'll allow me a chance to prove how very likely my scenario is. That means Cammy's lying. Which means she's definitely the murderer, I guess. Or has a reason to lie. My first order of business would be examine that piece of cargo in more detail. Begin investigation, pal. Now, why are you talking to me, pal? What's in the cargo? It's a rather large piece of cargo. The tag on it, sir. Let's see. Ylif Red statue? Never heard of it. Nor I, but I do not care about. But all I care about is if we can prove it wasn't here at the scene of the crime. Let's get investigating, sir. Hey you, don't touch my cargo. Look here, you're not going about touching my possessions without my permission. Yeah, don't rush up on me like that, pal. So this belongs to Mr. LeBlanc, does it? See what else I can find out from him. Look here. Suppose I have to first appease Mr. LeBlanc if I want to examine his more detail. I'm trying to talk to him. I take it this large piece of cargo belongs to you, Mr. LeBlanc. Of course it's mine. I shipped it from a fine piece of art from Europe. The Ylif Red statue is worth 10 million cents. No, maybe much, much more. Mr. LeBlanc's reasoning in choosing this plane must have been a large cargo hold. 10 million cents? Suggest you're trying to stop calculating how many packets of noodles that makes, Detective. Darn, how'd you do that? Feel like you keep getting better and better, seeing right through me every year. Yes, well, all prosecutors can read minds. So I grow with each revolution of the planet around the sun. I have this distinct impression he continues to madly spin in place. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, that 10 million cents. Is that in euros or dollars? Does it really make a difference to our case? Mr. LeBlanc, there is a chance your cargo is related to the murder case. I'm wondering if you would allow us to examine it a bit closer. It's a very valuable piece of art, so no, be no touching. Logic. Okay, what about... He wants me to pay him before he'll comment on this? Smuggling would be drugs, right? That actually might not be art at all. Mr. LeBlanc has something to do with the smuggling ring, and it's possible this fake statue was brought on board to Zing Fa. Need to question him a bit further. Could have drugs inside the statue, if it's actually a statue. About your statue, Mr. LeBlanc. I wonder if it might be a fake.
What? How dare you say my art is fake? I suspect your statue might be the target of an international smuggling ring.
Ah, cocoons. I forgot about the cocoons. Yeah, that's a Borginian thing, isn't it?
Don't say such fantastical things, those thieves would not dare. I have a certification of my cargo right here.
Do you mean the cargo certification document? Mr. Zinc LeBlanc, why did you say so earlier? Please show it to us at once. I can't read this. What does it say?
It says as plain as day, the cargo was put onto the plane in Europe.
And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. Too bad for you. The statue was brought aboard to Europe just as it states in the certificate. No, that's... Which means that there must never a window of time in which the statue wasn't sitting there. I respectfully disagree. We cannot discount the theory until I see the statue for myself.
You can have your wish. Look at it yourself and see am I right.
Because he fell on top of it. Yes, I know I've seen this somewhere before.
This is the Isle of Red. It's in the picture. It gives out such a feeling of art. I can practically spell it.
Could be cocoa nuts.
The statue has a high amount of historic value. After it was unveiled in a museum in Europe, brought out of this country to exhibit it.
Give a closer look is warranted here. Infamous Isle of Red statue,
What is it, Mr. Edward? You found something?
Something wrong with this picture. We should examine it in more detail. I swear I've seen this somewhere before.
No wonder this thing worth 10 million cents. Look how it sparkles, sir.
Wouldn't call it sparkling, detective. Maybe along the lines of duly shining. Is that not the same thing? I mean, it's definitely this, right? But the eyes are a different color. I don't think that's just a issue. The eyes made of some sort of gem, look like topaz.
That's a real nice shade of orange. For a sec, I couldn't even tell they were jewels. It kind of reminded me of the eyes of a stray cat that lives near my house.
Are the eyes supposed to be this color? Possible the statue is a fake? Okay. In the evidence I hold, yes, it is. Oh wait, wrong one. Here. This is connected to the evidence that is, in fact, this evidence? Eureka! These eyes are awfully orange, don't you think?
Yeah, pretty. Reminded me of sunsets when I was in grade school, sir. Also that cat I just mentioned, but ignore that.
I don't think you see what I'm talking about.
No, I do. That's really like the color of the sun when it's setting, sir. Ah, the memories. Remember standing out there in that field spinning with my arms out until I fell ill.
I don't care about sunsets. Focus, detective. What color are the eyes in this photo?
Huh? Yeah, they're red.
As I thought, the statue is a fake. Mr. LeBlanc?
What do you want? You all know I'm a busy man. I'll allow you 2 seconds for your answer.
The Isle of Red. I suppose this is your pride and joy, is it not?
Biggest trophy in European trip. Also, it's been 2 seconds, so, whatever. You know why I wanted to possess this statue? Trigger started 17 years ago. Better grab a chair, sir. Sounds like it's gonna be a long story.
Mr. LeBlanc, I regret to inform you of my heartfelt sympathy, but...
What's that? A sympathy? For what?
You'll see. I'd like to compare the eyes.
That large fellow over there has very bright, pretty eyes compared to you.
I wasn't talking about the two of us. But thank you. What if the creator of the Isle of Red was colorblind? I meant these eyes of the statue in front of us and the one in this photo.
Why the sun yelling? Now then, oh, I'm colorblind. There's a photo of the statue on display at the Museum of Europe. What?
Now do you see, Mr. LeBlanc? The statue before us is fake.
Yeah, fake?
Jeez. How does he have the power to summon wind every time he's surprised? I believe that even further examination may be required. Now that we have confirmed this one is indeed a fake. Must be some sort of proof this is brought on board the Zing Fa. I will present you the evidence that will resolve the remaining contradictions. so the real one, if he's not involved, well, first off, that's a pretty good conversation there. So the real one, if he's not involved, then the real one was taken out at some point. What's this? Statue looks like it's stepping all over its neighbor's cloth cover. Kind of resembles its owner's attitude in a sense. Oh. Yo, why'd you say this now? Further, my clothing is not being stepped on by anyone. Too expensive for me to allow it to happen. Please forgive the trespasses of my subordinate. Watch out, forgive the trespasses. Unless it's an expensive dress, you keep it. Sometimes you can forget that he's, doesn't speak English. Not that one. Eureka! Not until they comment there's a contradiction here. Oh, do I need to use the other one? I think it's really suspicious looking, sir. Well-trained gut tells me so. Let's see. Must be mistaken. How come when I answer confidently you take that means we're off course, sir? Alright, that was worth the hit. Use the other one, I guess. No, I only have two. Okay. Edward does have pretty good hair. Where's the... Did they get rid of that one? What's this? I mean, this is the obvious answer, right? But I don't seem to have the thing. Maybe I need to do something else? Like, does he not have a pointed nose or something? I think he did. Oh, he does have a pointed nose. I just poked myself in the eye. Oh, it was replaced. Okay. There we go. There's clearly a contradiction here. What are you going on about now? Just a simple case of cargo cover getting stuck under another piece of cargo. Oh, right. That's not possible. Ah, but it is. It should be this way, but the statue is on top of the cloth. Supposing that the neighboring piece of cloth was brought on board to Xingfa, there's no way that any part of it should wind up under something from Europe. Which means this fake statue is smuggled on board in Xingfa. But then what about the certificate? Let me ask in return, what about Agent Hicks? Why'd he come down here in the middle of the flight? There's only one reason why, to secure proof of smuggling activity aboard this flight. So you say, but I don't believe he had to do that mid-flight. He could have just easily inspected all the cargo after the plane landed. That may be true, however you have it backwards, Francisca. Sure, Agent Hicks could have waited until after the plane had landed, but he had no reason to coming down the cargo hold. Suppose he had found the fake at the airport. It would have been after the swap had occurred. At that time, the suspicion would naturally fall into the statue's owner, who would have no way to prove that the statue was switched without his knowledge. In case there was someone involved who was forging and modifying cargo certificates. Investigation complete. Guess the victim knew the real version is just gonna get nabbed, huh? Yes, while this photo could have seen nothing more than a simple souvenir, it was in fact taken to be used as a reference document later on. Next, Agent Hicks had to secure proof. That's a good agent. Had to be secure proof that the smuggling had taken place. He came down here to take a picture of the cargo hold. Rather empty one at that, right before the fake statue could be loaded on board. A photo of the hold missing a valuable piece of cargo would have been proof enough. After that, all I had to do was hold the Xingfa cargo crew and arrest the smuggler. Exactly. The only thing this only goes to prove my theory. Tachi was not in the cargo hold during the Europe Xingfa leg of the trip. Would have been enough height from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death. Officer, move the statue immediately. I want a thorough examination of the floor underneath. Now.
Ah, yes, sir. They don't pay me enough for this.
Wow, this guy is so sophisticated he gets to be called forensics itself. Miss Von Karma, ready to report my findings. Go on. After moving the Isle of Red statue out of the way, tested the area under with luminol and there was reaction. Blood. There was a reaction to luminol, an indication that there was blood in that spot. Yeah, can we stop looking at it now, sirs? It seemed that my deductions were correct after all. I suppose it would appear that way. The culprit cleaned out the blood well. And how do you think the killer did that? How did the killer clean up the blood?
Why are you asking me this? Obviously, with this Borganian cloth.
It's Joe Forensics at your service. The killer used the bloody cloth I found inside the suitcase to clean up the mess. I see. They had a need to clean up all the blood before the plane landed at Xingfa. Yes, because otherwise the cargo crew would have discovered it during the layout.
So you guys are saying the murder happened before the plane landed in Xingfa?
No other conceivable timeline for the events of the murder. But if that is true, then that throws a certain person's testimony into doubt. Murder occurred before they landed in Xingfa. It becomes highly suspect. Recall Miss Meal's testimony about Agent Hicks in regard to when we departed Xingfa. I saw him like sitting in his seat at 5 AM, you know. She claims Agent Hicks was alive at the time of the service calls, but
that totally contradicts the facts, sir.
But why would she lie about something like that? I think only one person can answer that is Miss Meal herself. To be continued. Jeez, this is a long one, huh? Should we continue it now? Is this going to be the last thing?
Yeah, why not?
Check something real quick. Shouldn't have checked Discord, that's for sure. I guess someone putting clips in the Discord. Wonder why that's happening. Miss Meal. Miss Meal! Ah, what? You recall what you said earlier about when you answered some service calls that we were departing in Xingfa? Uh-huh. Said that Mr. Hicks wasn't sitting in his seat that time. However, that is simply not possible. Mr. Hicks was dead long before we ever touched down at Xingfa. Oh. Miss Cammy Meal. Maybe I didn't see what I thought I did? No one can make a mistake so large, Miss Meal. But I take that kind of boo-boo all the time. This is going nowhere. There must be a better way of resolving this contradiction. Very well, Miss Meal. If you would please tell us about your alibi during the time span, from just before we were landed at 3 AM to 6 AM when the body was found. Are you telling me that I'm a suspect, Mr. Edgeworth? Her eyes are pretty dead. Yeah, yeah. Can I press on that? From 3 to 4, I was in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self. Oh, yeah. Can I press that one? And from 5 to 6, I was in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self. How was a man supposed to react to a testimony like that? Miss Meal, wake up! Ah, I wasn't asleep. She fell asleep again. Looks like the only way I'm going to be able to wake her up is by pressing her. Oh hey, I can press it.
Hold it.
Nice. Miss Meal, wake up! I'm awake, not anymore though. Miss Miles Edgeworth, I demand you do something about this flight attendant this instant. You have the whip. Why ask me to wake her when you could finally put that whip to appropriate use?
Hold it.
If I remember correctly, food was being served at first class in the lounge between the hours of 3 and 4. Do you do anything here? Yeah, but that kind of stuff's run by Miss Rhoda. Then what were you doing in the tinner's room at that time? Eating and then having a most delicious dream? You mean we're neglecting your duties? No way! Sleeping's part of my job too, you know. Oh, yeah.
Miss Meal, how many times do I have to repeat myself? Wake up.
I'm awake, I'm awake.
Ouch! What'd you whip me for, sir? I'm wide awake.
Oh, what'd I miss?
A poor detective being on the receiving end of a lash on your steed.
Really?
Really? Sorry about that. Make amends for that by continuing with your testimony.
Seems like the captain just gives this girl all the leeway.
So you were alone the entire time, were you?
Yeah, no one else even popped their head in to say hi.
Oh, I think a contradiction just popped in to say hi. What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Miss Meal, there's a killer contradiction you embedded in your testimony.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Not possible that you were alone in the attendance room the whole time from 5 to 6.
Take that!
Take that. I wonder if you'd be so kind as to take a look at this receipt, Miss Meal.
Huh? A receipt? For what?
The suitcase for that Miss Teniro brought. I may direct your attention to the timestamp. As you can see, it clearly says 5:40 a.m. Miss Teniro.
Yes, what? Huh? Why is the killer here? I thought you'd have her locked up by now.
I requested that she be present as a witness so that we may straighten out your complex lie.
Uh-huh.
Now then, Miss Teniro, between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m., you took a trip from first class down to the first floor of the in-flight shop, correct?
I went down to the shop to buy a suitcase, after which I went straight to the attendance room to drop it off.
Did you see Miss Meal there at that time?
No.
So, Miss Meal, where were you really between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m.? We're gonna like take off the hat on that little stuffed animal she has. It's gonna be a bunch of drugs in there.
Huh? Oh, the bathroom?
I'll be the one to ask the questions here.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I probably just missed her. Nature calls, you know.
Do you take me for a fool? That's a little too convenient to be true.
But it's the truth. Cross my heart.
I don't have enough conclusive proof to counter argue her. Does this thing have a bathroom? I mean, that'd be conclusive evidence.
You don't believe me, do you? But please, won't you give me a chance to hear me out? Like, totally. Look, I know you suspect me because I'm one of the crew, but you think maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda, too. We already did. She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard in the shop, you know. You ask me, that makes her super suspicious.
Please leave Miss Teniro out of our conversation. Only you are under suspicion for now.
I don't get it. Why are you covering for Miss Rhoda all of a sudden? Oh, now I get it. Maybe you've got your eye on Miss Rhoda.
Of course I'm keeping an eye on her. I can't very well let her escape, can I?
Never mind. You want to know something? Miss Rhoda actually kind of I have absolutely no interest in people who can't appreciate my sense of design.
Now's not the time for this sort of talk.
Okay. Edward is so innocent.
Hold it!
No, it's not the only reason I have for suspecting you. Your statements regarding Mr. Hicks also turned out to be a bunch of lies.
Ah, but say I wasn't the attendant. You wouldn't suspect me then, would you?
Yes, I suppose that's true enough.
What? We already do suspect her. I'm skipping that one. Stupid.
Hold it!
Such a stupid line.
And what are you in charge of, Miss Meal?
I take care of the attendance room.
That doesn't count.
That's all I kind of do. Might as well be my responsibility. Mr. Edward, Cammy's very talented in languages, so she assists passengers who may not speak English. Especially those who speak Borginian. She's the only one in this flight who's fluent. Oh, you mean the kind of what am I in charge of? Why did you say so in the first place?
What else could I have meant?
Yeah, so I'm really good at Borginian.
Fluent in Borginian. I suppose you're in charge of processing documents in Borginian.
Yeah, I take care of anything that has to do with Borginian.
Very interesting.
So she probably wrote the Borginian mark thing that says it was brought out on Europe.
Actually, your on-the-job behavior makes you super suspicious in my eyes.
Huh? But why?
While Miss Teniro is busy with the passengers and all of her other duties, you have a lot of free time on your hands, thus providing with ample time to commit the crime.
Objection. I'm over here now. Miles Edgeworth has been cease and desist in the line of conjectural questioning. I won't allow you bluff your way through this like a certain defense lawyer.
That's a good point, Francisca.
But I do honestly believe that Miss Meal has any actual work aboard this flight. Oh, that's not true, Mr. Edgeworth. Although, well, I'm in charge of the attendance room and some Borgini and stuff. So what exactly do you as one in charge of some Borginian stuff? I do stuff like translate things from and into Borginian. Tammy's the only member of the crew who understands Borginian, Mr. Edward. Miss Meal, I take it then your job to process all Borginian paperwork. Yeah, see, I totally pull my weight around here. So it would appear. Perhaps I should ask her for more details about her work, and Miss Meal is very unladylike to push suspicion onto someone else. That's not what I'm doing at all. I'm just saying that Miss Rhoda is very there you go again. Pushing everything onto her again. I don't get what you're saying. Must be really abstract concept, huh? Only thing abstract here is the landscape inside your head. That's rude. Objection! So you're the only one in this flight crew that speaks Borginian. Is that correct? Oh yeah, I guess so. Studied abroad in Borgania for a while. Met Lammy once. That was pretty fun. Do you hear that she's actually a magician or something? I think that's in the future, though. If that's the case, then the signature on this document belongs to you, doesn't it? This is a falsified piece of documentation with only one purpose. To lead anyone who read it in to believe that Mr. LeBlanc's statue was loaded on Europe. The only person who could have either prepared or processed this document in Borginian is you, Miss Meal. Oh. Without your participation. Did he, like, move back slightly? They moved his model back slightly just so they could put the entire hand on there. That's pretty good. Don't sleep while I'm pointing my finger at you. Oh, I wouldn't dream of falling asleep on you, Mr. Edgeworth. You have bubbles? Oh, she does have bubbles. Exactly as you say. Why does she have a bubble maker? Also, she's suddenly super serious. Are you confessing to participate in the smuggling? No, far from it. Like, it's true that I was the one who signed off that document. Can't use that fact alone to make your allegation of smuggling stick. There's no direct correlation after all. All you have is my signature on a piece of paper. Really? All you did was sign it? I neglected to check if the cargo had been loaded onto the plane properly. So sorry about that. Seems she's finally woken up. This is gonna be one tough fight. Suppose, and this is just a supposition, even if I was involved in smuggling, you can't throw the charge of murder on me just like that. Objection! Shut up. If you were in the small of the smuggling, you would have had a strong motive to kill. Agent Hicks was in the middle of an investigation regarding a smuggling ring. Just when he's about to close in, he's killed by a member of that ring. Do you ever stop to think that maybe Rhoda is a smuggling ring member? After all, unlike me, Rhoda has access to many things in this plane for work purposes. Perhaps there was some element of setup in this play in this case. What are you talking about? Also, here, eat some bubbles. Don't worry, I wasn't talking about you, I meant the killer. First it was myself, and now Miss Teniro is under a microscope. It seems to me like our killer is going great lengths to pin this crime on anyone they can. You have no proof that Rhoda is being set up or that she isn't. Actually, I believe that she was indeed the intended target from the very beginning. I believe the plan was to push all the blame for the crime onto her. This evidence will prove my suspicions. The killer was out to frame Miss Teniro from the very beginning. I want to say it's either this or the suitcase. I'm gonna say the suitcase. The killer could have hidden the body anywhere, and yet they chose a suitcase. Why is that? Perhaps it was to move the body from the lower deck to the first floor. However, why go through the trouble to do so? Oh jeez. Don't pull on the stuffed animal's head. That's so rude. As someone who has a lot of those, I feel personally insulted. The only way all these actions make sense is if the killer had wanted to frame Miss Teniro for the murder. Miss Teniro buys a suitcase on every flight she works without fail, but should her suitcase be switched with the one containing the victim's body, that would put her in a very tight spot. Unfortunately for the killer, the Turbians put an end to that plan. There wasn't enough time to put the body back into the suitcase. Ergo, they made do with whoever was at hand and adapted their plan, and tried to frame me as I lay unconscious on the floor from the turbulence. Killer then went to hide the suitcase in the in-flight shop, and brought the piggy bank back to the elevator in order to fabricate a false weapon. A lot of work for a fruitless endeavor, wouldn't you agree? Sounds like the killer had a tough time too, huh? I mean, why did the killer frame someone that badly anyway? That's because of the special circumstances surrounding this particular case. What special circumstances? Why are you saying something and then questioning it? This is actually a tough one. Where the murder took place. That'd be the cargo hold. When the murder took place, that'd be like, what, 3 or 4 a.m.? Who the murder victim was, that doesn't matter. I'll say where. Special circumstances is simply that the murder took place on a plane mid-flight. Yeah, that's also a thought I had. No matter which country, customs is quite strict on this day and age, so no matter what you do, the chances that the body will be found is very high. Therefore, there's no choice but to either frame Miss Teniro or myself. In other words, the only one who fits within the boundaries of this criminal's movements is not Miss Teniro or myself, but you, Miss Cammy Meal. Only you and you alone could be the killer. Yawn. And? Like what? I'm going back to bed? Are you done already? I was about to fall asleep again. Anyways, be honest here. You don't have anything on me other than a whole lot of circumstantial evidence. I can see the outline of how the murder occurred, but I have no definitive evidence. And isn't there a piece of evidence that's still unaccounted for? Something that I still can't quite fit into the big picture. Missing cell phone, I guess.
Take that!
I don't have any actual evidence. I thought not, but that's because it went missing, and still is. Missing? What do you mean by that? The complex puzzle of this case is only one piece that I keep getting stuck on. That's the victim's cell phone. Francisca, you were waiting at the airport for the phone call from Agent Hicks' cell phone, or at least that's what you told me. That's right. But Agent Hicks' cell phone could not be found at the crime scene. You mean the killer took the phone with them? She gonna ring? Is the stuffed animal gonna ring? Precisely. I suspected that if we were to find the phone, it would lead us to the killer. Haha, come on, get serious. If the victim fell to his death from that height, wouldn't his phone break as well? We don't know that until we try a little experiment, will we? Francisca, I'd like to ask you for your assistance. You know the victim's phone number, do you not? Of course I do. Hey, Detective phone. It's ringing from here somewhere, sir. I hear it, Detective. Now, where is it coming from? It's on you. Gotta find the cell phone fast. Yeah, okay, but where is the thing? Here? Under the thing? No, the phone is up in the flight attendant's room. Oh, okay. Don't need to type all that out. I think it's coming from somewhere in this, sir. Leave no stone unturned, Detective Gumshoe. We must find it. Okay. Doesn't seem to be over here. Let's look somewhere else, sir. The locker. I think it's coming from here, sir. What? No, it can't be. Gotta be the victim's cell phone, pal. I mean, sir. Whose locker is this, sir? It's Miss Teniro's. Well, with the card already being stolen, that kind of does point towards the actual killer. Even more people pointing towards her, I guess. Yeah, I'm here too, by the way. Where'd they put the statue? I guess they could have just moved it out. So, Mr. Edworth, how'd it go? Where'd you find the phone? I found it in the flight attendant's room in Mr. Tenero's locker. Miss Tenero's locker. Why does he keep saying Mr.? I don't know anything about a phone. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Just check the fingerprints. Miss Von Karma, is it? I suggest you arrest Miss Rhoda Tenero right away. Objection. Wait, I have a theory. This is related to the incident with the keycard. When the killer went to steal the keycard, they conveniently stashed the cell phone in Miss Tenero's locker at the same time. Objection. This is related to the keycard, alright. In the same way that we have zero proof that the killer did just that. The only voice that sings the truth is evidence. This is one bird we cannot ignore. We can just look at fingerprints, can't we? We have the dust somewhere. What should I do? Francisca's right. Can't offer baseless conjectures at this point. Alright then, why did the culprit take the cell phone from Agent Hicks? Must have something very incriminating on it or in it.
Hold it!
Hold it! Take the photos, obviously. What now, Miles Edgeworth? It's not over yet. We have yet to figure out why the killer took the phone. What? Inside this phone lies the final piece of incriminating evidence that will point us to our killer. Need to examine this phone in more detail. Oh, the screen's cracked. LCD is broken. Without a screen, you can't even place a call with this. Ah, it's a camera lens. Come on, think of it. I wonder, how exactly was Agent Hicks planning to preserve the crime scene of smuggling? Francisca, I need you to confirm something. The cell phone, can it take pictures?
Mr. Edward, can't believe you don't know about this kind of basic stuff, sir.
Looks like a very similar model to my own. And mine can take photos just fine. Do you think Agent Hicks could have taken some pictures with this? In particular, the pictures as evidence for the smuggling case? If so, I'd say there may be some very inconvenient photos for our killer smuggler.
The phone's all busted up, sir.
Even a super prosecutor can't repair a broken phone. Ugh, find a way, don't you worry about that. Yawn. May I go back to sleep now? Were you ever awake? Objection. The LCD screens inside outside are broken, that's for sure. That's also the reason enough to believe that the killer wasn't able to erase the data. What? What do you mean by that, Francisca? It looks like our killer isn't very familiar with electronics. The phone still rang when I called it, meaning that only the LCD screens are broken. Possible that photos are there inside, waiting to be accessed. All we need now is transfer the data to my phone. Francisca, your phone, if you please. Very well. I feel like she should be doing that, not you. Transferring. Alright, displaying it now. This is... Agent Hicks was most certainly trying to obtain some evidence for his smuggling case.
Hey, Alec Friend's nowhere in this picture, sir.
Has no meaning as a piece of evidence in the murder case, right?
Ah, she's right. Not much we can find from this day about Agent Hicks' killer, sir.
Is this it? This the end? Is there really nothing in this photo that we can use? I mean, there's the socks that's not here either. Oh, I guess we can examine. What's all this?
Oh, they're a cargo ship from Borginian to Zingfa.
The reason they aren't here now is that they were dropped off in Zingfa. Mr. LeBlanc, can you tell me all the contents of these boxes? Unfortunately, there is no English written on them anywhere.
One closer box is written in Borginian, says, is cloth in English.
Could it be? Is this where the killer...
What? What's that scary face?
Miss Meal.
Yes?
It appears that Agent Hicks was no ordinary investigator. He left us with a piece of evidence after all. A striking piece of evidence that will point out who the killer is. Maybe you should, force your mistake reading of a simple picture, Mr. Edworth? Okay, so I guess it would be this piece of cloth.
Take that!
And she would be the only one that knows what the cloth is, because it's in Borginian. And what's that supposed to prove? The killer used this piece of evidence, this piece of cloth, to wipe the blood they had spilled. But there was one thing that bothered me this whole time. Where did it come from? And now I've finally found my answer in this very photo. The cargo that was unloaded to Zingfa had cloth written on it, in Borginian, that is. This is where the killer grabbed a piece to clean up the blood with. That's right. The killer was someone who could read and understand Borginian. The only crew member that fits the description is you, Miss Cammy Meal.
Yeah, that's pretty flimsy.
Killer probably like searched all through the boxes looking for something to use. When you're frantic, you don't care if the box is in English or Borginian. Objection. Sorry, but I cannot agree with your assessment of the killer's indiscriminate nature. There was no need for the killer to tear through boxes at random at all. And if the killer supposedly could not comprehend Borginian, well then. The bedsheets.
Take that!
Hey, it says bedsheets in English right on the box, sir. Precisely, and bedsheets would be perfect at cleaning up blood, wouldn't you say? Like, hold it? What are you trying to say? That if I were the criminal, this box of bedsheets would have been what I had spotted first. However, the killer chose to use some Borginian cloth. Do you have an explanation for that? The killer didn't want anyone to know that the real scene of the crime was this cargo hold, so they were afraid to leave sign of the box where the sheets had been opened. However, the Borginian cloth, well, that's a horse of a different color, because the killer knew it was going to be unloaded in the Republic of Xingfa. That's right, that's why the Borginian cloth was used. Cloth only a Borginian reader on board could make such a calculated decision. Is you, Camille, you and you alone. Don't hold that thing up to shield yourself. This girl is true evil. But it is a sloth, right? It'd be very easy for us to confirm if any of the boxes were resealed. All I have to do is contact the Xingfa authorities in time. Maybe even find other evidence to incriminate our killer with those boxes. What do you say, Miss Meal? Why not confess to your crime here and now? I'd rather wait and see what we find from the investigation in Xingfa. Oh no! She's being surrounded in bubbles. No, the bubbles are beating her up! The Hadou bubble. He was Interpol. I couldn't stop him. Brought him here. Started taking pictures. I couldn't be found out. I was scared. Like, totally scared. I was in trouble. Their hair down? I pushed him down. I'm sorry. And we did it. First floor lounge. Finished making all the arrangements to take the suspect in, sir. Very good, detective. What about smuggling route? Did you say anything about that? I'm taking her down to the printing now. Hopefully we can get more out of her there. Never we even approached the topic, she just started foaming at the mouth, like she drank a bunch of bubbles or something. It was scary, sir. Probably wasn't prepared to commit a murder all of a sudden. One thing is for sure, the ring behind this whole mess is being serious business. Looks like there's a lot more to this case than meets the eye. Are we gonna deal with a lot of smugglers in future cases? Mr. Edgeworth, I just wanted to say how much I appreciate everything you did. Thank you very much. It was nothing. In fact, I should be the one thanking you for your cooperation. But truly, it wasn't for you, I might not be here right now. Instead, I can continue to serve passengers as a flight attendant. I hope that, well, please accept this as a token of my appreciation. That's... I see. You don't have to take it if you don't want to. No, I mean, I would never turn down a lady's generous offer. Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm sure it'll serve you well. And remember, our Fly Airlines are always ready to serve, Mr. Edward. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. The next time I'm in a murder case. Let's bid you farewell. May all your skies be blue, no matter where you go. The appropriate color. If they're red, you're probably going to die, though, so, be careful. That's usually the sign of the apocalypse. Can't believe you wound up investigating the whole day, sir. Boy, was it fun. Speak for yourself. My day was filled with earthquakes, elevators, and false charges. Earthquakes in the sky. By the way, where's Francisca? Oh, she's filling out some custom paperwork for her departure. Departure? Yeah, Miss Von Carr was always really busy, sir. Been flying from country to country to chase down some leads regarding her case. Detective, can you cancel the car I had you reserve earlier? You got it, sir. I guess. Hope Springs Airport. Francisca. I thought I told you when you first landed. I have no time for idle chatter. I have no intention of wasting your time. However, it's been a while since we last met. I also have no time for such familiar reminiscence. Just who do you think I am? You are Francisca Von Karma, a very proud prosecutor deserving of much respect. Till only a little while ago, I was but a wretched mutt who was always losing to you. Dancing period, living in her life of name of fame and her invincible father built. true your father, Manfred von Karma, didn't lose a single case for 40 years as a prosecutor. However, I wouldn't say he was invincible. What are you talking about? The group I'm on the trail of is a little more than troublesome than most. He doesn't even comment, he's just like, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The smuggling route we found this time was only one sliver of the big picture. Sounds like a dangerous assignment. You really don't have to worry, I can take care of myself. Yes, I suppose you can. Plus, there's another agent on this case with me. Oh, another agent. He's a star among Interpol agents, has the highest successful arrest rate. Who knows, you may even run into him one day. I was simply caught up in one case. Hardly see why we would cross paths. I suppose, but you know how these games work. I doubt he would say the same. I'm not following you. You will understand soon enough. The fight has only just begun, Miles Edgeworth. I'll be back in this country soon enough. When I am, you can be sure I'll pay you back, in full. Really something else, huh, sir? Just like that, she's gone, huh, sir? Thank goodness. Can finally rest easy, no have to watch out for a whip. Detective Gumshoe, I want to thank you for all your help and cooperation. No, it's nothing, sir. I'm just happy to be able to work with you again. Oh, I think I'm gonna celebrate by adding a little extra salt to my instant noodles tonight. How much do you cut his salary by, Francisca? Detective, I was wondering if you might give me a ride down to the prosecutor's office. Sure, thanks, sir. You can fly down the road on a patrol car if you want. Don't make me remind you, Detective. Safety first. Thus, I solved the first case upon my arrival home in America. Francisca von Karma. Smuggling route she was after. Leaders of that ring had already put their trump card into play. Players on the other side of this war, they would begin to make themselves known through the next incident. Ring, ring. Hello, Phoenix here. Edward speaking. Ah, finally. Called who knows how many times earlier, but I couldn't get through. And you are? Have you forgotten my voice, Miles, my boy? Mr. Amano? Ernest Amano? Ah, so you do remember me. I know it's rather sudden, but I can't ask this of anyone else. An incident, Miles. My son has been kidnapped. Oh no, that's not good. The end. I didn't know he was also a detective, I guess. The kidnapped turnabout. But guys, I think that might be where we have to stop, because it's been about 3.5 hours. Not to say I couldn't go on for probably another hour, but I usually like to finish the things at least once. So, let's sit down with this traditional American kotetsu and enjoy our American burgers in this nice bowl with noodles. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the bad voice acting stream. And it was definitely an interesting one. I feel like I'm getting dumber, though. There's a lot of those I was like, oh, okay, this is obvious. And then, nope. Apparently it was completely worse. Like that broken bottle. Like, where'd the rest of the bottle go? I don't know. Something jelly-filled donuts. They're delicious, that's what. But thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. I'm going to try to get all of the other ones up on YouTube, so you can look back and be like, heh, he was dumb that one time. That's funny. But, I guess you guys do that anyway with your darn clips. No, Turbulence knocked the bottle over, but where was the rest of the bottle? That was my question. I figured, the hint there was someone moved this out of the way. Now, I have terrible voice acting. The only one I could do right is this one, pal. It's like, I don't even know if I'm doing it right half the time. Also, someone commented saying I was pretty loud with this kind of voice, and, sorry if it's super loud, pal. Yeah, I turned it down a little bit, but, let me know if anything's super loud, okay, pals? Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Hope you have a good night. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time, pal.